tell these niggas no bitching. Yeah, they see the cops, they bitching.
No, I'm talking about a girl whose booty hole look like she got a hernia.
That shit looks like
movie.
Oh, is that your signal to say we started?
Is that
Hold on. Let me switch to my good mic.
Shadow
Go,
War
you
shit?
guys go ahead.
Nigga, is that how you tested your mic? Nigga said movie.
Like a
He
fucking
said move.
caveman.
You get it because he a fat ass.
Like the Geico caveman.
I'm still audio. I'm going to real quick.
Hey, Red Pill, you know they ain't supposed to kick you out of here, bro. You know that, right?
What?
Your mic's on nuts.
Watch your fucking mouth, bitch. How does it sound?
You got a little crackling in the background. It's like you're eating popcorn.
What the fuck?
He probably is. That probably him, nigga. Oh.
Do you still hear crackling?
Hey, bro.
It's all good to me.
Look in the general chat. I was trying to take a picture of this shit, and my coworker looking goofy as hell right now. Look at this. Look at why is he just standing like that?
What the fuck?
Look at that fuck. He got a goddamn nigga for like 8 Bud Lights. Holy shit.
No, I'm gonna switch.
Hey, people in the chat, let us know how the audio sound. Everybody do a mic check right quick.
That's my boy Fred. Fred, my guy, bro.
He look like Granbull, that Pokemon that looks like a pit bull.
Come on, dog. He actually, he getting his body right. He losing weight. He working out. Eating well.
Kiso, you there? Right. Kiso, you there?
Yo, what's good? What's good? It's your boy Kiso, man. You know what it is.
Yo, Skate, you there?
Yo. It's Joe Skate.
All right. Yeah, man, we just coming with y'all live, man. We gonna do the
What about me?
What are we talking about today? Are we talking about the Blackening? Who saw the Blackening?
What about me?
Who saw the Blackening?
Alex saw Blackening. Alex and Jack not here, so Alex might be the only one who saw the Blackening.
Big Jack not here. So the Blackening, Elemental, Red
Pig saw Elemental. We talking about I got disconnected.
Yeah, me, Red Pig, and
Alex
saw
Elemental.
Elemental.
Kiso saw Elemental. Okay.
Right.
And then the marquee, the Flash.
The main event. Yeah.
Yeah. You was talking about the Flash. Alex, you good over there, brother? You good? Alex might be
Like he
going
going through
through
it,
some
nigga.
difficulties,
You
man. What's
see it,
going
right?
on?
He going through it.
You hear me, bro?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
we hear it, babe.
Yeah.
Man, I'm about
You
to go back
outside?
on data. Hold on, bro.
No, you lag me on data, bro. Oh my god.
He can test it out. Just see how it goes. He can test it out. Anyway, this is what we doing, y'all. Episode 9. Got a few movies to talk about with y'all. Got a few special guests in here. My boy Kiso's in here to talk about the recent movies he saw. And we got
Sir.
my boy Yosuke in here to talk about The Flash. So we're gonna see what's up. I guess let's yeah, Alex,
Yeah, we
if you
hear you.
can, if you good, Alex, go ahead and open us up with the Blackening. What's the movie about? How did you like it? Go ahead and open us up. Pause.
Pause. Okay, yeah. Y'all let me know at any point if my mic mess up or start crackling. Because I can hear
Gotcha.
y'all well, but my connection obviously is trash in this hotel.
No, you sound good right now. You sound good.
So let's see. Let's see, man. The Blackening, bro. The Blackening. We were mistaken. We
All right,
thought this
hold
movie
on,
was
brother.
written
Hold
by the
on, brother.
Wayne
Hold on.
brothers. They had
Wait.
nothing to do with this movie.
Wait,
That boy, I turned into a transformer real quick.
yeah, it's like a Decepticon.
That boy turned into a Decepticon. That boy said,
Maximize, nigga.
Yeah, you gotta get
What
back
the
on Wi-Fi, my boy.
fuck, man? I am on Wi-Fi. Oh wait, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Hold on. I'm going to Wi-Fi. Hold on, boys.
You sound good now. What the hell's going on?
It's in and out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you. We hear you.
Yeah. Verizon.
Motherfucker, bro. Okay. Yeah, watch my time. Watch my time. We were wrong about the Blackening. We thought it had to do with the Wayans brothers. It got nothing to do with them.
Hold on, who's we, brother? I
So-
saw that trailer. I said, "There's no way they are involved."
Look. I just know that when the Blackening was coming out, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess the Wayans brothers got another one coming out. Because keep in mind, there ain't been no other slapstick black comedy that we ain't thinking of the Wayans brothers. Like they've really been the only ones putting those out. So I looked at the IMDb page. I went to the director, a nigga named Tim Story. Have y'all ever heard of him?
Sound familiar?
So he directed Fantastic Four, the one with
Michael B. Jordan.
Jessica Alba.
Oh.
No, the one with Jessica Alba in it. He did Think Like a Man.
It's OG.
He did Barbershop, and he did Ride Along.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
the writers for this movie, Tracy Oliver and Dwayne Perkins. Dwayne Perkins, this is his first writing credit. But Tracy Oliver, she also wrote Barbershop and Girls Trip. I know y'all remember Girls Trip with like Queen Latifah and shit.
Yeah. And yeah.
So essentially, without spoiling anything, this movie is basically a big play on black tropes in scary movies. That's the entire premise. It's the fact that we're black and we in a scary movie, and we either gonna fall for the shit that we know that we always fall for, or we gonna be smart about it. This movie, Jack Move called it clever. What I would say is aware. This movie is funny because they interact the way that we do in the audience. Like every time we see a movie, we're like, why the fuck would you do that? Or like, I would have done it. Like everything they do, whether it's like they being scared, whether they fight back, whether they try. Like there was one scene where she was like, I'm gonna say it. And I was like, you bitch, you better not say it. She's like, I'm gonna just say it. And it was like, bitch, don't you say it. She's like, we should split up. And it was like, so it was shit like that where like everyone knows these are just terrible things to do, but we're gonna do it anyway because for some reason we have to do it. I'm gonna start off with the bad as always. The camera work felt cheap as hell, nigga. Like this felt like a Netflix original. And I can't expect Mission Impossible level camera work because it's literally like it's not supposed to be that type of film. But it did feel very localized. Like I'll give an example. Y'all ever watched a movie and they're in the car talking, right? And you can obviously tell like behind them is a green screen, like out the windows.
Yeah.
Okay. This wasn't the green screen effect, but in the beginning of the movie, nigga, instead of just recording with the drone, the Range Rover driving through the mountains, these niggas had a 3D car, and they thought I wasn't gonna notice. Y'all know I'm a stickler for CGI. Like, nigga, what the fuck is it? It was like this like 3D Play-Doh looking Jeep that was like driving up the mountains. I was like, and the Jeep was like tilted at an angle. It's like they put a sticker on the screen. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then they tried to like make it look natural, and now it's like a real Jeep. I was like, hell no, bro. I was like, that was cheap as hell.
Hey, Rice Star said the budget was $5 million, by the way.
And I can tell. And this is the thing. This type of film, like I said, it doesn't call for much, but the camera work definitely felt like a Tyler Perry film. Like the camera work felt, and like I do photography, right? So I don't do movies, but I can kind of tell how certain shots are done, right? Some of these shots look like they set up a tripod and said, okay, action. Like it wasn't really much dynamic camera flow, if you see what I'm saying. It's like I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. Y'all ever played those Bethesda games where when you do a dialogue and the person's like in the center of the screen staring you in your soul?
I guess not. Nigga, what the fuck?
Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like
No.
if you play like Skyrim or some shit and you do a dialogue, the person like literally magnetizes to your eyes or whatever. Like it was very
For your eyes.
Right, yeah.
Right at you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Like-
like blank stare. It's looking
they're
stiff.
like awkwardly in the center of the screen, right? So it was shit like that. The line delivery. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. The line delivery was ass. In the beginning of the movie until the middle of the movie when shit started getting hectic and they could be more expressive and be like scared, happy, mad, because now we're getting into the roles of our characters. The beginning of this movie was some some high school level acting, nigga. It was like, how can it was like oh yeah, we're gonna have a fun trip. I hope that one person not coming. And then the girls look at each other and then they be like, girl, did you tell him? I thought you told him. And then he's like, but we gonna have a good, it's a gay dude, right? So he's like, but we gonna have a good time, right? Right? And then they just look off. I'm like, what the fuck is this acting, bro? Like this acting was like corny all the way up to the middle point. Like it was actually kind of hard to watch. Some jokes did feel like a reach. Like what's a joke that y'all feel like is so low hanging fruit? Kool-Aid, right? Kool-Aid for black people, right?
Mhm.
This nigga made Kool-Aid and put the whole thing of
Nice.
sugar in it, right?
Oh my gosh, figures.
Like, are we in 2002? Like Kool-Aid and sugar? And then when they drank, he's like, damn, nigga, you gonna catch a cramp drinking that. And he was like, yeah, I call it King's Kool-Aid. Bro, so
But see that's what my issue was with the trailer, because the trailer it felt like that, a bunch of low hanging black jokes that we hear all the time.
See, that's
I was
the thing.
like, yeah.
There were a couple low hanging fruit black jokes because I think they were trying to reach on a lot of age demographics. Like 40 and up, they might chuckle at the fact that he put the whole thing of sugar in the Kool-Aid because our parents used to make Kool-Aid all the time type shit, right? Even we did, but we kind of at the tail end of that Kool-Aid household. You see what I'm saying? Like my little sister probably has never drank Kool-Aid. Yeah, she like in 9th grade. She's always had what, Tropicana, sodas. Like me and my cousins, nigga, we used to eat Kool-Aid packets dry. Like we used to put our fingers in it and just eat the powder. You see what I'm saying? So our age group and up, they might get a chuckle out of that. But there are a lot of smart jokes in this film. Like to where I was like, what the fuck? Like there is this one scene, I'm not gonna spoil when they say it. There is this, I think I told y'all there was this scene where he made an all lives matter joke. And when I tell you the way that they the placement of that joke was the most surprising and well-placed joke I've probably heard this year in movies. Like he said his joke and the delivery was so fucking fire. I laughed for like 2 or 3. We were on the next scene, nigga. I was still like trying not to laugh out loud. Like he looked at him, said something, and closed the door, and I was like, "Oh, that scene alone made me want to watch the movie all over again." I was like, "That shit was heat." Like, I wish I could have watched it brand new, never seen it before, just to see that line again. That's how funny that line was to me. So let me get into the good. There is genuine, relatable humor. There's a bunch of like black folk, not folklore, but modern day African Americanisms that we all probably can say, oh, remember your parents used to do this, remember you used to do that. They're in this movie. So I do have to give them credit for that. And I don't want to spoil it. Like, if you go watch it, you'll catch up on it. Because if I just tell you all of them, it's not going to have that same effect for when you catch it. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of it is real slick. Like, there was one, I'll give y'all one of them because I already said it in the Discord. I'm sure y'all have heard y'all parents saying, like, if you wanna be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you gotta wake up and pay attention, right? That was a childhood song my mom used to sing with us. And they randomly said that in this movie. And I didn't catch it. I was like, and I finished it with them. I was like, pay attention. I was like, oh shit, I haven't heard that since I was like in elementary. So it has a lot of like, I don't know what to call them, like Easter eggs for like just black shit that we do. I really feel like this is a step in the right direction for parody and comedy films. I don't remember the last comedy film I watched that I really laughed at. What's the last comedy film y'all can think of where he's like, nah, nigga, that was funny. I can't remember one off the top of my head from recent memory.
There's been a minute.
Yeah.
Like some of the humor we found in movies was just because they either put a joke in there that we didn't expect, or they've been shooting at such a bad accuracy that they finally got one. I'll give you an example. Marvel movies. Marvel movies are not super funny, but they will have one or two jokes in there where you're like, all right, nigga, that was funny. Like, come on. This movie made the laughs feel worth it. Like, I really didn't give a bunch of pity laughs. Like, I was legit like laughing at some of the dumb shit that I was seeing. Whether it was because it was corny, whether it was because it was like, wow, I can't believe they just did that, or them poking at ourselves. Like, it was good comedy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. This humor, it doesn't feel catered to white folks. I'm sure y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, when you hear jokes, even if it's a black movie, like Wayans Brothers did that a few times, like with Haunted House, like their jokes felt like it was catered for white folks to laugh at the delivery from black folks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for black, we just kind of staring at it with straight face. For an example, remember in that movie Haunted House when they did a parody of the Poltergeist and he was getting fucked by the ghost?
Yeah.
That wasn't fun. Like if I was like a white dude, I'd be like, oh my god, yeah, and he got fucked by the ghost, dude. Like, I can see it, but for black humor, it's kind of like, okay, you got fucked by the ghost, okay. Like, it's just not that funny. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's very easy. And look, I'm not gonna make it a race thing, but it's rare when you find white comics that just have some funny shit to say. A lot of white comedy, because I used to watch a lot of stand-up comedy. A lot of white comedy is very crude and very brass. It's not really clever. It's not really like, it's like a lot of screamy, a lot of shouty. It's edgy. It's like you should be embarrassed that you're laughing at. It doesn't really feel funny. It's just more like on some shock humor.
Yeah.
And this movie didn't have a lot of that, and I appreciated it. It didn't feel like American Pie. It didn't feel like disaster movie. It felt more natural, and I think this is a step in the right direction for like black comedy. Like I said, the dialogue got better as you went on it. The actors, you actually grow to like the actors. In the beginning, I could not stand these niggas. I'm like, y'all are like, in the first 15 minutes, you hear the word nigga like 10 times. I was like, don't do it. Please don't do it. Like, she opened the door and she's like, happy Juneteenth, niggas. And then she started twerking. I was like, what the fuck? Like, but like I could say it and we laugh at how preposterous that is. But when you first watch it, you like kind of cringe because you're like,
that's not how we really are for
like,
real.
I'm like, bro, please don't do it. Don't make us just look like the nigga, twerk. Like, that's not going to be funny. And they fixed it halfway through the movie. There are two. There's another part of this movie that I thought about literally a day or two after I watched the movie, and I still was chuckling about it. Y'all know who Jay Farrow is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The nigga that does the Will Smith voice acting, and he's really good at impersonating people.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his girl had a line in that movie that was it wasn't a line. They exchanged like looks for 5 or 6 seconds, and that was some of the funniest like that was one of the funniest interactions in the whole movie. That 5-6 second shit. I'm not gonna spoil it, but when y'all go see it, they gonna say something, and then they gonna look at each other, and then they gonna look back at they gonna look back at what they was doing. Hilarious, nigga. There is a character in that movie called Clifton. I'm not gonna give too much details on all the characters, but this nigga Clifton stole the show, bro. He stole the show. That's all I'm gonna say. That nigga was hilarious. We've all met a person like Clifton. He's the reason why I want to go see that movie again. And I definitely think we should have a movie night, whether it's illegal or what, nigga. We gotta watch that movie together because I really feel like y'all would think he was funny, bro. All in all, good movie, bro. I'm really iffy on comedies because I'm really harsh on comedies. You see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I don't give pity laughs. I don't try to make myself believe it's funny. If it's not funny, it's not funny. And it's like rom-coms. I don't like rom-coms. And this movie kind of restored my faith a little bit in the comedy. So I really appreciate this. This came out of nowhere. It wasn't on my radar. I'm really glad. And I saw it by myself. And I was laughing hard as hell. So a good movie, bro. It's a good movie. I think y'all would like it.
Now, what would you give it out of 10 per se on a comedy level?
For a comedy, ooh. I give it a 7.5. I give it a 7.5.
Okay.
And I'll
Good,
take
that's
points
good.
away because, like I said, the points that I was kind of annoyed with, I can't do much about it. Okay, like camera work, line delivery, some of the jokes are reaches, but I'm trying to be, realistic. It's a cheap comedy. That's literally the premise is black tropes and scary movies. I mean, it's not that deep. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I was glad I went. I went after a long day. I had, all types of shit. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go see the movie, whatever, try to laugh or whatever. I went after work. Like I got off work, went and saw the movie, and I didn't feel like I wasted time at all. So yeah, 7 out of 10, bro. 7.5 out of 10.
That's
It's
not
real
bad.
good
It's
to
not
hear.
bad. I told Jack, man, look, I wasn't fucking with the trailer, but I'm definitely down to watch it in a Discord movie night. I wouldn't be against that. I like comedy movies. So yeah. And hearing y'all talk about it, Jack loved it. You saying there's some funny parts. I'll check it out, man.
Yeah, if you like I said, the way comedies go about, we all go into comedies with low expectations because
Right.
everyone feels like they know comedy and everyone knows what they find funny. So you kind of just go into comedy movies hoping that it makes you laugh. I was surprised by how much I laughed at this movie. So
That's
It's good to hear. I'm looking forward to watching it. Real good to hear.
yes, sir. That's a movie night. Tap in, movie guys, movie night.
Now, let's go ahead and talk about the next movie that came out. Unfortunately, this movie is currently flopping in theaters. Unfortunately, it's
As a hater.
unfortunate. We don't like to see movies flop. You know what I mean? But it
I
is
don't
what
know. You
it
sound
is.
like you. I don't know. You sound like you want to see this flop.
No, I
Well,
mean,
you
listen,
said
man.
that.
I'm a
You said it was
Pixar fan.
flopping. You know,
I'm
you
a
emphasis the
Pixar fan.
flopping.
No, I just gotta put emphasis because it's flopping bad. But
Right. Well,
I'm
make
a,
sure you do it
I'm
for
a
next movie
Pixar
too.
fan. I grew up like Toy Story is one of my childhood favorites. It might even be my favorite childhood movie. Toy Story 1 and 2. Those is my shits. But new movie came out, Elemental. Kiso, Red Pig. Who else saw it? Alex, did you see it?
Yeah, Alex saw it too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
perfect.
Elemental.
Let's go ahead and y'all can give your thoughts on Elemental. Whoever want to go first.
Well,
I
I'll
just
go.
talked about it. You can go first, Red Pig.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be real. I wasn't really looking that forward to this Pixar movie.
Hold on, Red Pig. You are the Pixar aficionado.
Wow.
Hold on.
I am.
Hold on.
He
Listen,
is
You told us this
the
was
animated aficionado of the Discord.
listen. I wasn't excited for it. The trailer sold a completely different movie, but the movie is actually fire, nigga. The movie is gorgeous, nigga.
Wrap it
Pixar,
up.
the best animation studio in the game. Nobody touching them, nigga. Not Illumination with that fuck ass Mario movie.
Whoa.
I will say, Elemental is far more intelligent and profound than I thought it was gonna be. It
Profound.
doesn't
You heard
insult it doesn't insult the children's intelligence. You dig? The movie is about immigrants, culture and heritage, and as public, all this other shit. the world they made is very interesting. It's like kind of like Inside Out, but like elements and shit. But it's real interesting. On top of that, the romance was kind of beautiful, nigga. You know, it almost made a nigga,
Ooh, bitch.
kind of,
Got a little emotional, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie is good, bro. I think everybody should go support this movie. It deserves better. And I can't stress enough how beautiful this movie is. Alex, he was talking about the movie look low budget. It don't look good, nigga. Don't you ever in your mouth ever again disrespect Pixar, nigga. Pixar don't
Nigga
make
said
ugly
in my
movies, nigga.
mouth. What the
Pixar
fuck?
is the best. Pixar is the best, nigga.
Why you in my mouth, nigga? Watch out.
You talking about something? You talking about something? So he was like the trailer. I'll tell you, Red Pig, it don't look good.
And
It
I
looks
stand by that.
stupid.
I'm gonna touch on that. I'm gonna stand on that. I'm gonna touch
The
on
movie
that.
is
Oh,
gorgeous,
hold on,
nigga.
bro.
The movie is gorgeous. Pixar know what they doing, nigga. They mix stylized with realism just perfectly. It's just a gorgeous film. Nobody's touching them. Not Illumination, who like basically when it comes to how good films look, they in second place, but nobody touching them, bro. They're legends. They're the goats of this shit.
Indeed. I'm
I
at
heard you
the
put
piggyback.
I heard you put your arms in there.
But no, I'm piggyback on that. I'm piggyback on that. I didn't see much marketing for Elemental. I just wasn't it wasn't a film that I was looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? I went to see the movie with my daughter and my girl. We just went in there, and after coming from seeing The Flash, we'll touch on that next. After seeing The Flash, I wasn't really expecting much from Elemental. I was like, I promised my daughter, that we'll go see this movie, so I'll check it out. The movie, people, is fantastic. This movie surprised me. Granted, like I said, I had no expectations, so it was easy to do. But however, the way the story was told to where I could understand it and glean something from it, also my daughter could understand it and glean something from it as well, it was fantastic. There were people in the movie crying. I saw adults, mainly adult women. They tend to be more emotional. Crying during this movie because of the story was told. The story is pretty much based on. The movie was directed by Peter Song. If you know who that is, he's worked on a lot of Pixar movies. He's been with Pixar since I want to say the early 2000s. So he's very ingrained within that company. The movie focused on it took inspiration. I believe Peter said that he's a Korean. It was a reflection of him and his family moving from Korea to the Bronx in New York, and pretty much starting from there. So off the back, you see a lot of the stories of a lot of immigrants, foreigners coming to America. Trying to keep that part of their life, or of course, trying to keep the foundation of what makes them, Korean or of course, or whatever nationality. I'm not that's but race. Try to keep that, culture and ingrained in their family and their kids and grandkids and so on and so forth. Doing the movie, the main character, they're struggling with that aspect. They want to respect, their Korean heritage or, their, in this case, fire heritage, while also, wanting to branch out and explore what the greater world has to offer.
Yep.
So you have this character, this fire character, battling,
What the
inside,
fuck? I keep getting disconnected.
she's, so she's having this war inside herself, do I remain loyal to my father, to my parents, do I want to be a good daughter? Think of a Mulan, how Mulan was struggling, to be a good daughter, who am I? So you have this character struggling with identity crisis on what they want to do, how can I stay loyal to my father, but also make myself happy as well? So you have, these, these supporting characters, from the water people, trying to help this character, realize, hey, this is what I want to do. The story's fantastic. I don't want to tell the whole story because I really want you guys to go out and support this movie. Where it's in theaters or you watch it on Disney Plus or whatever. Yeah. It's a great watch. The animation, fire. There were scenes in this movie I thought they took directly from real life.
Yep.
I was amazed. There is a beach scene, which I'm sure Alex will touch on as well. The sand, the water. My mind was blown. I was like, hold on, is this real life? Is this like what? It blew me away. There's water in this movie. In the third act, where a lot of water's involved. I was amazed. I was like, wow, it would be hard, I think for the average person to tell the difference between this animation of the water and and would have been filmed like on the phone or something like that. This movie, the animation is top tier, the story is top tier,
Yes,
and I like when Pixar doesn't set up, oh, let's fight this villain, or I like when there's an
yeah,
animated movie that may be targeted towards kids, where it's not like, let's create this bad guy. No,
this
this
bad
wasn't a
guy.
movie that creates a bad
There's
guy.
not really a bad guy per se.
Right there, right. There's no bad guy. And that's how the recent Pixar movies has kind of been. If you've seen
Yeah,
Turning Red, of course, if you've
was
seen what's recent, this is what I'm saying. Like a lot of recent Pixar movies, they want to tell stories, original stories, and create original IPs that adults and kids that are coming of
watch and enjoy
age
a life.
can reflect to. Exactly, like, okay, I'm growing up. How do I handle being a
So you
good
mean
daughter or
like how
son?
Soul was?
Right.
Yeah, which is fire, by the way. I don't know why Jack don't like that.
Like how
You
can I
said it's
handle being a
depressing.
good daughter or son? How can I respect my parents? And also branch out. How can I struggle with who I want to be in life, by also making sure I don't abandon or forget where I came from.
Now let me
Yeah.
That
ask y'all,
hit me
Keith,
hits home.
Keith
Wait,
and
one
Red
thing.
Pack. Go ahead.
What's up?
Go ahead one time.
I want to ask y'all, how does this story stack up against the most like recent Pixar movies?
Oh, it's better than, but I'm gonna be real. It's better than Lightyear.
I agree. Better than Lightyear.
It's better than Luca, and Luca is pretty good. Like, basically, it's
Mm,
not a villain. Like, the more the story is, like, it shows how communication, how important it is to family or in life.
Exactly.
So it's fire. I like it. It's
Yeah, like
really
this is one of the best movies. I will say.
it's one of the best movies of the year. One of the
Yeah.
best. It's not. No, I ain't gonna say it's better than Miles Morales. I ain't gonna say that. I mean, I ain't gonna say that. But
Right.
it's up there. It's actually right behind that. I'll say
Like I
it's
said,
like number
like
two.
yeah, like far as Pixar goes, I don't know if the storytelling to me is up there with Coco. It's up there with Coco. It's up there with Turning
Yeah,
Red. These are movies that's going to hit your emotions. You're going to laugh. If you're an emotional person, like you're going to cry. You're going to
and
appreciate the animation. It's fantastic.
and it's, we
I
can't
can't
say that
applaud this movie
Pixar.
enough.
We can't say that Pixar going through this creative shit, nigga. The way the creative twist on how certain elements relate or do relate is so creative in this movie. Like,
Exactly.
I'm telling you, Pixar not going through no creative drought or anything. It's just niggas don't support new IPs like they say they do, or they don't want new shit like they say they do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with
Go ahead,
y'all.
Alex.
I blame Disney, bro. They don't market these shits
Nah,
at all. Like
it's not only that they're releasing a packed season. This is not the movie you release in the summertime. This is like when things are slow, November, maybe January type of movie. I think if they released this in January, February, this movie would have killed in the box
I
office.
agree with One Time's take. With the marketing, I also agree with Red Tech's take, where you're listening to bad time. But also, you got to remember, um, Disney used Pixar, to help push Disney Plus. So they will lose, 3 great Pixar movies straight to Disney Plus. So
Yeah,
the audience would be like, it's come to Disney Plus soon anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
Disney now has to, get the audience like, no, don't think about it coming to streaming. Come sit in the movie. Come get this movie experience. So now they have
yep,
to convince people that are used to or accustomed to it comes straight to Disney Plus
yeah,
and getting at least a good enough experience for them there. To get them to transition from the couch to
yeah.
the movie seat again.
Cause if y'all don't remember, when Turner Red went straight to Disney Plus, niggas who worked on that movie and Pixar in general, they were pissed. They did not like
Yeah.
that. They thought it should have been
Go.
straight to theaters.
Go ahead, Alex. Your thoughts?
Yeah, let's go on your thoughts.
Perfect. Y'all hear me because I was having connection issues.
You
No,
go.
you good, bro. We hear you.
So to build on what y'all said, the director Peter Son,
Yeah, Peter Song.
just to keep in mind of his resume, that nigga worked on Monsters University. He
Good movie.
directed Ratatouille and he directed
Great
the
movie.
original Incredibles.
Right. And the Good Dinosaur, I believe, also.
That's
And
Right.
and The Good Dinosaur is also Pixar's worst movie critically,
Yeah.
besides like
And
Cars 2.
the writers for this, which was I thought was interesting. So the two main writers they have for this movie was John Hobart.
Mhm.
That nigga wrote on All That and Blackish, right? A
Mhm.
white man, right? And then there's a woman, Kat Lickle or whatever the fuck. She worked on Angry Beavers, Our Real Monsters, and Rugrats. So I felt like this team of main 3 people headlining the creation of the direction and the writers. I thought that was such a random like resume for them to have.
Right.
Like you worked on all that. You worked on Angry Beavers and you worked on The Incredibles. Crazy. I like y'all said, it's not the typical. My family won't understand. We just don't mix. Like you're that and I'm this, and we just won't work. Like the movie was really a metaphor for immigrant families and xenophobia. That's really what the movie was
Yeah.
about.
Yes, sir.
And acceptance and prejudices. It's kind of like, remember that movie Bright with Will Smith when everyone was like, well, really it's about racism. It's about, when the aliens actually represented a real race, like you could make a parallel.
Yeah.
That's what this movie is doing, except on a grander scale of like immigration.
See, that's why I was saying this movie don't insult children's intelligence. Like it made prejudice and like, it made it to a way to kids to understand it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and one thing, I don't know if y'all know this, but the nigga Wade Ripple, the dude, the water dude, that's actually that black dude Mama dude, the nigga that was from the Get Down and Archive 81, the black dude. I don't know if y'all watched it, but I did not know that. I was like, I didn't hear his voice in that, but this movie had some funny moments. The soundtrack was good.
Yeah.
What I about the graphics. So even now, there were the landscapes, like the textures of the city and all this stuff. It was really good. There were even some scenes where it damn near looked photorealistic. There was a brick that had water drip off of it that looked actually really real. There was a bucket with a sponge in it where I was like, nigga, is that like a real? Did they take a real picture and like? Some of that shit looked so photorealistic. It almost looked like I kind of struggled with my eyes. I was like, what the? Did they switch to real life real quick? Like that's how good. It was only like 3 or 4 scenes, but those 3 or 4 scenes were. If that was animation, nigga, that is amazing.
Impressive.
If those were animated objects,
it was.
That was amazing. The sand looked beautiful. This movie had a lot of tiny details. With the water guy, Wade Ripple. I don't know if y'all noticed, but his hair was a continuous motion of water the entire movie.
Yes, I noticed that. Yes.
Yeah.
Little stuff like that. Every time he got around her, touched her, some of his skin would bubble, and it was even in times where they would make a point to say, "Oh, we're close to each other, I'm bubbling," but there were times where even just being near her, he would have a few bubbles evaporate near her.
Right.
There was one scene in particular that actually felt kind of adult. When they first touched and it had that weird transition of skin to skin. It was like it was like 5 seconds of like skin bubbling, sizzling, that touching. Y'all know what scene I'm talking about when they first touched their hands.
Yeah.
That reminded me of like actual adult movies, like in like when real life, when they touch and you feel that they give you textures and frictions and it's supposed to be like you're supposed to feel that sensation with them.
Yeah.
I don't know the last time I've seen an animation movie do something like that. And that was really clever I really liked how they did that, because that sold it to me. That sold it like what that reaction actually looks like. But I will say, the entire movie, it took me a while to even be okay with it. I did not like how they animated the fire people. I just didn't like. That was what I didn't like how they look, bro. Like the water people was cool, the textures of the city was cool. Her little it was really good. I still don't like the artistic direction they took with the fire, and maybe that's just because it's not as easy to make a fire character that has, like there were things that they would do, like when she would get sad, her flame would dim, right? Her flame would get smaller, but her cheekbones were still that white. I mean, that red line that would still show the shape of her head. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like how none of that looked, and that's just me being a stickler for what I personally like. That doesn't mean it looked bad, but, and there were times where the certain characters in this film, and that just comes with the law of the land. If you have an animated movie, not every single NPC or not every single random background character is going to have fluid motion, but there were definitely a lot of canned, stiff ass people in this movie. Granted, that's not who we're supposed to hold up. Granted, that's not who we were supposed to look at. That's not what we're focusing on, and they're only meant to make the density of the city feel deeper. But like I said, when it comes to CGI, I'm looking all over the screen. I'm literally looking on the corners and the edges of the screen. And like I said, in that trailer, that's what that looked to me. This is like stiff ass characters. They look like canned, like the trailer didn't look good. I'm sorry, the trailer didn't look good. The movie, I saw the movie and I realized just how much shit they had going on. The city looked beautiful. The
Oh.
colors looked very vibrant. The movie looked good. That trailer did not look good. I'm standing on that. One
See,
thing
and
that
I didn't see the trailer, so I
The
didn't
trailer was
I didn't have no
good.
exposure.
Alex
bro,
tripping, nigga.
if you go watch that trailer,
Uh-huh.
they splice what you saw in the movie, they splice in the trailer to make it look different than how it actually went.
I'm gonna
You see
check
what I'm
it out.
saying? Like
Yeah.
in the movie when she goes on that subway, it's other scenes and different shit going on. But on the trailer, it just looked like she just walking on a train and slowly, you don't really get the context of it.
Mhm.
But one thing I will say, it's cool they touched on immigration. It's cool they touched on xenophobia.
Right.
For me, as a like my girl, I want my girl, she cried 4 times during this movie. So it's obviously the emotion and the topics are heavy enough for adults to feel emotion from it. But as for me, animated movies in general, I really, really, really hope we get more animated movies with adult themes and adult storylines. I'm lacking in that. I need
I think this
like I mean,
movie tried to do that though.
but this is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. I need these animation houses to stop doing the kid. Like, there's no reason why they only kids can see animated movies. We just saw Spider-Man go crazy. Yes, it's a kid IP type movie, but there's a bunch of shit in that movie where adults was enjoying. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like Miguel, that wasn't no happy dory story. That nigga said, "I lost my kids, nigga." Like, there's certain adult themes in that Marvel, in that the Spider-Man movie that just came out that I could see as an adult watching that as a regular cartoon. Like, well, you see what I'm saying? Imagine if we get animated movies, and these are probably too far on the spectrum, but just imagine. Imagine if we get animated movies with deep storylines. Like, say if you get an Inception animated. Let's see if you get like a Tenet animated, the Dark Knight animated, like storylines that have actual adult dialogue, adult consequences, and adult content. It doesn't have to be sex and blood, but nigga,
So
I think that would be fucking lit to get
but
adult themed animated movies.
that's where anime kind of took over for that. Where this is
I
where
can see that.
Western animation kind of lagged behind. So I didn't watch the movie, but so what Alex is talking about, you pretty much got to go into Eastern animation because Western animation hasn't really cared about that stuff for maybe 20, 30 years. I mean, you could
Yeah.
say a lot of stuff is made for kids, but they have adult overtones. Like for example, SpongeBob. As a music example, SpongeBob. You go watch SpongeBob 20 years ago. It's for kids, but when you get older, you realize the adult messages it sends. But it's wrapped up in a kids package.
Oh,
And-
Tyrek, here's a good example. Two good examples. Have y'all seen Gaunt's Zero on Netflix?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
That was
another
tough.
another good example. Remember Beowulf?
Yeah.
Here's another example. Love, Death, Robots. All of those are animated. You see what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all watch Love, Death, Robots on Netflix.
That's on a smaller scale though.
But I know, but I'm saying Love, Death, and Robots has some amazing animation with real like adult theme, murder, sex, violence, mystery. Go watch Love, Death. Y'all seen all the seasons. Imagine that, but like a full scale film, nigga. That would be crazy.
But those movies historically just have not done well.
They don't do well.
Like
They just don't do well.
I don't know if y'all watched this movie, but this movie came out 20 years. It's called Titan AE. Go on. That movie is an animated movie. It's an adult theme movie. Movie fucking flop.
Hold on, you talking about the one with Matt Damon? That movie was fire.
Yeah.
With Titan AE, right? Y'all remember that?
Fire movie.
Yeah.
Fire movie.
I need to go see a poster.
That's animated movie
It's
I've
the
ever
one where
seen in my life.
he got the shit on his hand. Fire.
Yeah.
Titan AE.
Yeah, it came out 2000. That's a good movie night movie. Actually, we should actually watch that.
That's a classic.
So that movie came out and it flopped crazy. And then Hollywood had this thing where like you can't make animated adult themed movies because you're not going to bring adults to the movie theater, which is not true. Because if you look at like movies like Demon Slayer or like Dragon Ball, I don't want to call it Dragon Ball Z, but Demon Slayer that's an 18 plus anime. That shit brought people to the movie theater. Like even people who don't watch anime, like people watched it. So is this an American Western thing? I feel like people still think of like animation as a kids thing. So if you try to make an animated adult movie, unless it's like Family Guy or like The Simpsons or something like that, you're really not going to get people in the seats like that. It's just hard because we have this like not us, but the general population still looks at cartoon like these animated films as old as cartoons.
Yeah,
We're not gonna go
kids
watch.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like we don't really get a lot of adult themed Western animation, and like Japan just pretty much took that over completely. We're just not going to see it no more.
Yeah, because
Very
Pixar make
just
movies for kids, but they try to have some shit in there for adults. Like,
But it's not really truly an adult like
yeah.
film.
They tried to do it. It's probably some shit Disney got on them. I don't know if they ready to take that step out and do shit. I don't know.
Eric, I was gonna add, for the anime, it's because of the way manga is set up. You got manga shonen, which is aimed for like one age group, like I can't remember, like preteens, whatever, and then seinen, which is targeted for adults. So that's where people write Berserk and other mangas like that, like Vinland Saga, with more deeper themes, more like crazy stuff going on.
Yeah. Hey, Wonton, thoughts on
Well-
Elemental movie guy?
I just want to say this. Well, can I ask you guys real quick? Just one more question I had. How do you guys feel about the narrative that people are saying Elemental is not an original story, it's just Zootopia with elements?
Well, no, because like this movie is more akin to Luca and Turning Red. Like it's gonna resonate with a specific group more than the universal appeal, like Zootopia or Toy Story.
Okay.
So it's I don't. I mean, the story isn't. It's not like some groundbreaking new shit, but it's the way the story is told and with the racist shit. And,
Even Zootopia is more like because Zootopia in itself it's like a copy. It's not a copy, but it takes from other animated films that have done that before. Like
but
even though
with a
even though this is a historical movie, like Prince of Egypt did what Zootopia did. And that's not even though it's a religious movie. DreamWorks have done that with Shrek. Like Shrek did what Zootopia did, although in a more comedic way. But remember Shrek, him in his swamp and him accepting people and how people used to judge ogres and shit like that, but not all ogres are the same. Zootopia pretty much did Shrek, but in a more serious fashion. Like it's been done before. It's just that Pixar first, even Hunchback of Notre Dame did that, and that's a Disney film.
Yeah.
And that was like so. There's been films that have done it before. Zootopia was just the one that made a lot of money doing it. That's why people think of Zootopia as like the first. Zootopia didn't do nothing new. There's been other animations, other animated shows on a smaller scale that's done that. Zootopia just did it with animals and kids that's gonna sell.
Right. And I'll say this. So, of course, it's gonna be very rare where you find a truly original idea that has never been done before. I mean, look how, just gotta think, how long the movie industry has existed. And then before then you have books. So it's going to be, pretty much there's nothing new under the sun at this point. Now it's all about how did you tell a similar story they may have heard before. How do you tell the story? How do you set it up? How do you, make sure it's impactful? How do you draw the audiences? That's things we're looking for now. Because like I said, we can all see the trailer and get some similar stuff. Okay, this is like this movie. There's so many things to compare it to. Now it's about how do you do it? How do you present it? That's all. Those are the things I look for now. What's in a movie. How can it draw me in and make me, render all, disbelief and really pull me into the movie. Those are the things I look for now, especially with the animated movies. And specifically to Elemental, it hits on so many levels. Granted, it does hit on movies like a Zootopia and Shrek and Hunchback of Notre Dame and all that. But there's also things dealing with love, relationship, life, career choices. Like Alex said earlier, xenophobia. That's something we hinted on earlier as well. I spoke about earlier. Your family's legacy. I'm trying to talk around these different points without spoiling the story because I don't want people to go out and see this and and experience it for themselves. But the movie touches on so many aspects that kids can relate to and that adults can too. So there is something for everyone in this movie. Whether you're a father or a kid or uncle or a foreigner or someone who's born and raised in America, and you know have that you know, and you struggling with that. What should I do in life balance? You know, there's so much here, you know, that people can relate to and understand and feel an impact. So that's why I think this movie did a really great job at telling the story, and also making sure that there's someone for everyone in regard to Elemental.
Yeah, everybody go see this movie. It's not just another rom-com like the trailers would have you think. It's actually more than that. So
Right.
yeah.
Okay, good. Now, just to end off of that, I think I'm gonna check the movie out, but I'm gonna wait till it hit Disney Plus. It's actually
Yeah,
a few
we
movies
never
I need to
watched
watch on there. I still haven't seen Turning Red. I heard it's good. Still haven't seen
Turning Red is a good movie, bro, and it has some good
um
music in Turning Red as well. Good music in Turning Red. One of the best recent Pixar soundtracks, honestly. Is Turning Red. It's Turning Red soundtrack is similar to New Jack City.
what was the other movie? Encanto. Still haven't seen that.
Encanto, good movie.
I'm not gonna lie,
Also a good soundtrack as
I
well.
haven't seen a lot of the Pixar movies. I just have, I don't
They
know.
do
Toy Story
kitty
4
free.
was the last one I saw, and I was like,
Toy Story
yeah,
4 was great.
it was great. But then I'm kind of, it's like I feel like they repeated the same storyline from 3 again, a little bit in a way, and then I just been off fix. And also because I was just every time I go to the movies, I try to like. Well, recently I've been going a lot more often than I did because before when the pandemic was there, and I was just like I was going to the movies, but I'd go like selective. Like I wouldn't go for everything. So last 3 to 4 years, I haven't really seen the last Pixar movies. I seen Zootopia on Disney Plus. I never even seen that shit in theaters. So I actually got to go back and one weekend and actually go back and watch Coco and all that stuff. I never watched it, so
Yeah.
I think I should go back and watch
Coco
it.
is fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Coco's fire. Yeah, I mean, and I typically see all these movies because you know I do have of course, a daughter or a child. So you know, I'm typically someone who's seen them in movies, or as soon as they're on Disney Plus, I'm watching them. So not only am I watching them, from my standpoint, for as an adult male, but also as a parent, I'm also watching it from a parent perspective as well. So I'm able to kind of see it in multiple lens.
Okay. Well, that's Elemental Talk. And you know what? I think it's time for the main event, y'all. I think it's time for the main event. Now, this is how I want to do this. I am going to give my thoughts because we've been hearing from you musty ass niggas for the past hour.
Just keep the same energy about the flopping because I didn't hear you mention flop.
Let me
Oh,
go
no,
first.
that's fine. That's we can do that all day, baby.
Okay,
I'm in the
just
middle.
making sure you keep the same energy, bro.
So, let me go first. I'm biased one. I'm in the
No,
middle.
Tyrek, you.
If we start,
Okay, hold on. Tyrek, you.
go.
Tyrek, no, you know what? Because we haven't heard from Tyrek the last two topics. Tyrek, I'll let you go first, but
because we're gonna respond. No, we're gonna respond to you after because you have the most egregious take out of everyone here.
No, I don't. It's not egregious.
Well, you got to remember that Yosuke also liked it too. So
Okay, you know what? No. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get my shit first, and then y'all can respond and get y'all takes.
Well, let Yosuke give his take too, because Yosuke also enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
I'm the one in the middle. Let me go first. I'm gonna provide context, and then y'all go.
Context.
Yes, because you can't go first because we got to respond to your bullshit. But I want to set it up first, and you go.
All right, go.
I watched this movie on I watched it opening night. I had low expectations going to this film because to me, none of these DC films really matter anymore because they're resetting everything. This is the movie that's going to reset everything. This is Flashpoint from the comics. So essentially, what they're doing is Flash can go back in time. He can reset the DC universe. That's the outer universe explanation of why they're resetting the DC universe. They're using this movie just as a reset point. So going into the movie, low expectations. First off, the CG was the worst CG I've seen since Mummy 2, Scorpion King level type of CG. Don't know what they were cooking with that one. They needed another year or so. I don't believe that bullshit excuse that, that's how we wanted the essentially what happens is the most of the CG happens in that Chrono Bowl when he go back in time. It's basically a stadium that shows him the paths he can take while he's traveling back in time. So in the Chrono Bowl, you see like multiple versions of Flash. They look like wax figures. You really have to go watch the movie to see what I'm talking about, but it does not look good at all. It looks like some PlayStation 2 CG graphics cutscene, maybe even worse than that, some Dreamcast shit. So when I was watching the movie, I thought maybe this is just the bad part and it'll get better. No, the CG was consistently bad throughout the entire movie. The beginning part of the movie with the babies in the hospital and the microwave, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Bad, like fucking horrible. That's all the cons I have for that movie. But the rest of the movie, I'll say it was a pretty decent ride for me. Like when I like the storyline, even though it's not the same as the comic books, I don't expect them to adapt one to one no more. Marvel doesn't adapt one to one no more, so I'm not gonna dock them on not giving them a one to one Flashpoint. But I liked how they introduced Michael Keaton's Batman as, to me, he was not the main character in the movie, but he stole the show. He pretty much kept the two Barrys balanced because based on the trailers, you guys know there's two Barrys. There's Barry from the future, from the DC universe we know, and Barry from the past that grew up without powers, but he ended up getting powers due to the effects, due to the older Flash interfering with this Flash's timeline, trying to prevent his mom from being killed. So it mirrors that Flashpoint comic where Barry goes back in time. Do you want me to summarize the movie, or y'all want me to leave that to the end?
I got you. I mean, I'm not gonna have a super deep commentary on it, so I'm
gonna tell you. So basically, the comic's the same way. He goes back in time, tries to stop his mother's death, but because he does that, it's like a paradox thing. It's like one of those Nexus events. You can't change that from happening. If you change that from happening, everything's just fucked up. He creates multiple branches of reality, and in order for that to stop, he must let his mom die. So at the end of the movie, his mom stays dead. Yada yada yada. Flashpoint. Now the DC universe is reset because he reset everything. So James Gunn has a whole open slate to do what he wants now. But I thought the story was pretty good. I thought Michael Keaton's Batman, that's the first Batman most people have watched, 1989 Batman. So a lot of it was like the memorabilia stuff. Oh yeah, remember Michael Keaton first Batman? They played on that a lot. This movie was a nostalgia trip, but I felt like they did it the right way versus where Spider-Man No Way Home, they kind of leaned on it way too much in that movie. In this one, they used it to enhance what was going on. So I thought Michael Keaton stole the show. Like, great performance. He looked old. I mean, he was supposed to be old. Obviously, this happens years after the Batman universe we saw in 1989. This is like 20 or 30 years after. So he's not in his prime no more. I like the introduction of Supergirl in this movie. Even though she didn't really do much, she did die pretty easy. But that's just the way how the multiverse worked, where like her fate was to die to Zod, and it kept repeating and repeating and repeating. And the younger Barry just tried to stop it over and over again, but every time he tried to stop it, she just died in another way. But for the time she was on screen, other than the horrid CGI fight she was in, I thought she was a believable Kara Zor-El. I hope she does come back as Supergirl in the future. I don't mind her being like dark haired. Usually she's blonde, but her look was fine for me. But I thought the movie was enjoyable. Like the storyline was really, really good. I don't think it was contrived or like anything like that. The only thing I would say is their explanation of the multiverse with the spaghetti was kind of strange. I get who he was saying, but I think there was a better way of explaining it. But it's the multiverse thing. Every universe, every like comic book, like DC, Marvel, Infinity Comics, Icon Comics, all have their own way of doing their own multiverse and explaining it. DC's multiverse of the comics is a lot easier to understand. I don't know why in the movie they kind of try to follow it, but they put their own little spin on it with the spaghetti. But I'm not gonna get too much on it. It's comic books, it's movies. At the end of the day, like none of this multiverse shit really is gonna matter anyway because they're resetting everything. Solid movie, but the CG prevented it from me giving 8 out of 10. The CG was even decent. Like I'm talking about like 2007 Ghost Rider level CG. Probably gets an 8 out of 10. But the CG was so bad, there's no way I can give this more than a 6 out of 10. This movie did everything right but the CG. And most people are going to be like, you're shallow, or why you care about the CG so much? It's just visuals. Well, visuals make the movie. And if your visuals are bad, and that's how I'm absorbing the movie, that's going to dock you some points. You're not going to be able to like get away with that. It's 2023. that excuse that director made that this is how they want it to be. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. You got to do better than that. You can't do that in 2023. We had three movies that came out this year that had excellent CG. Guardians, Ant-Man had really good CG, even though some parts were a little iffy. And I'm gonna say the other third movie, I'm losing it right now. And Transformers. Those movies didn't have the budget Flash had, but their CG was way ahead. And what Transformers was doing was on a whole nother freaking scale because they're animating transforming robots. And then Guardians 3, they had that human body flesh planet thing, which was freaking incredible. I don't see why Flash why it was so hard for them to have decent CG for this movie. They weren't doing anything insane.
By the way,
But 6 out of
Transformers
10
Rise of the Beast. Transformers Rise of the Beast budget was 150 million versus Flash's 200 something million.
Yeah.
Budget.
So that movie gets 6 out of 10. A lot of potential. It's the same thing like Multiverse of Madness. But the opposite way. Multiverse of Madness, I thought the story was fine. It's just that I felt like they could have done a lot more. This movie, I feel like they hit the story, but everything else with the visuals and cinematography was just bad. I'm like, it's the exact opposite, and that's why both those movies got the same score in my book. One did CG really good, but they didn't do the story right. One did the story really, really good, but they didn't do the visuals right. But once I go.
So let me get this out of the way right quick. This is the issue I have with the narrative going on with the Flash right now.
Oh my god!
Y'all are saying the movie is terrible. The movie is bad. The movie is not good to watch, based on one aspect: the CGI. That's what I'm hearing.
That's a
The
pretty
CGI. The CGI. Hold on, let me finish. I didn't. Nobody interrupted you. Let me talk. Nobody's defending the CGI. Okay, nobody's saying the CGI was pretty good. The CGI looked bad, but the entire rest of the movie, 2.5 hours of the movie, was enjoyable. Okay, to me, it was enjoyable. Now that I got that, let me tell y'all my thoughts on the movie. So, keep in mind, I'm gonna give some context. When they had announced this movie, I wasn't really like looking forward to it. I wasn't really excited about it. The movie been in development hell. If y'all know, there's been like 2 or 3 different scripts for this movie, different directors. Even this movie that just came out, it had 3 different endings, and they finally landed on the ending that's in the movie now. So there's been a lot going on with this movie. The main star had legal issues. There's been a lot going on with this movie. Okay, not to mention it's a DCEU movie. Now I can't speak for y'all, but for me, I don't like DCEU movies at all. There's out of the fucking however many there are, I only like maybe 3. Okay, Man of Steel, I saw it one time when it came out. It wasn't bad, but to me it was just okay. Batman vs Superman, the first time I watched it, I thought it was absolute garbage. I rewatched the extended version I think they have on HBO Max. I think it's a little bit better. They show that warehouse scene with Batman. That might be in the original too, but I don't know. When I rewatched it, I actually paid attention to that warehouse scene more, and I thought that was cool seeing that Batman scene. But overall, that movie is not good. 2016 Suicide Squad, absolute garbage. When I saw that in the theaters, not only did I fall asleep, when I woke up, I remember leaving the theater pissed that I spent money and time watching that trash. It was garbage. Wonder Woman 2017, great movie. I thought it was good. That was the first DCU movie that I actually thought was really good. The Injustice League, ass, and that's the Joss Whedon version. Aquaman, for some reason people liked Aquaman. I thought the movie was boring as shit. It had good visuals, but the movie itself, the story, absolutely fucking boring. Shazam, that came out 2019. I thought it was okay. It was decent. Didn't even finish Birds of Prey. That came out 2020. That shit was boring to me. Wonder Woman 84, also didn't finish it. Shit was trash. Then we get to Zack Snyder's Justice League. That's actually a good cut of the movie. Zack Snyder's Justice League makes that a better movie. His cut. Suicide Squad, James Gunn, a great movie. Black Adam last year, I thought it was okay. I thought Black Adam was cool. Then we get to Shazam 2, didn't even watch it, and then now we have The Flash. So out of all of those movies, it's really only like 3 movies that I really fuck with. So going into The Flash, I had low expectations. I wasn't going in like hyped like I was for Doctor Strange 2. I wasn't going in expecting anything really. So I was actually really surprised at what I got. Let me just start off with what I liked about the movie. So with The Flash, one thing that I liked a lot that I didn't know I was going to like, I actually really liked Ezra Miller's performance. I thought Ezra Miller did a great job as Barry Allen. It's a little bit different than what we've seen, in like TV shows or previous incarnations of Barry Allen. But I thought he did a really good job. I actually thought he did better this time than he did in like the Justice League movie. I wasn't really a big fan of like his performance there. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't really nothing noteworthy. I thought he did a really good job in this movie, performance wise. I really, really liked the visuals of him like actually running. He does these weird hand movements that are kind of weird, but the actual like visual of it, I really like seeing that when he runs. And from what I'm told, it's actually a little bit closer to how it is in the comics. A lot of people were saying like, why does he run in slow motion like that? From what I'm hearing, people are saying that that's more comic accurate. But either way, I liked how it looked. And then the story. I like the story they did. Keep in mind, the Flashpoint story that we know from the comics has been done numerous times. Animation, TV shows, it's been done, right? I like that they did something a little bit different with the Flashpoint story. And I liked how they incorporated aspects of the multiverse. I'm trying to avoid spoilers real quick, but we'll get to spoilers later. But one of the things that I haven't heard people talk about that much, I heard some people say it, but this movie, this is one of the best showings of Ben Affleck Batman that we have seen in the DCEU. Ben Affleck in the opening of the movie, bro, that shit is fucking fire. When he uses the grapple gun and he fucking flies through the smoke, and then bro, that shit is heat, bro. It made me want to see a Ben Affleck Batman movie, and we might never get that. If we do, it's gonna be years down the line. Ben Affleck as Batman in this movie, the short amount of time he was in it was absolutely fucking fire.
Can you stop saying it?
And then we had Michael Keaton Batman. Bro, Michael Keaton, if y'all haven't seen the original Batman movies, those are still great movies to this day. Still fun movies to watch. And when they had announced Michael Keaton, coming back, I wasn't really expecting too much. But seeing him in the movie, he killed it, bro. He absolutely killed it. He still felt like the Batman from the original movies. And they even have him doing fight scenes in this movie that look, again, amazing. The way they do the fight scenes in this movie with Batman are absolutely amazing. What else do I want to say? I'm trying to avoid spoilers right for now. Let me see. I guess let's talk about the negatives. The obviously the main negative of this movie is the CGI. Like I said, nobody's defending the CGI, bro. I haven't seen a single person. Only the true diehards maybe who are saying like it's what the director wanted, but like at the end of the day, we can keep it 100. The CGI is not good, but the rest of the movie was so enjoyable for me that I honestly did not care. It didn't ruin the movie for me. They still got the point across with the CGI. It is what it is. I still enjoyed the rest of the movie. The only other negatives I have are kind of story related. They introduce a Dark Flash character that is completely pointless to the story. They only show up maybe like 5 minutes out of the total 2.5 hours. The ending of the movie, it's a really, really touching moment, and it's a really good moment, actually. I like the ending a lot, but it leaves some unanswered questions. Now, granted, I found out later, because the director did an interview, he said that a lot of the unanswered questions from the ending were supposed to be answered in a sequel, but now that this movie is flopping, it's probably not going to get a sequel, so we'll never get those questions answered, unfortunately. But that's just another issue that I had, just some unanswered questions with the movie. And then Supergirl. They market the movie with Batman and Supergirl as co-stars, and even though the actress that they have playing her is good, and she has some cool moments when they first reveal her, she's really underutilized. They don't really use her that much or that well, in my opinion. And the same thing with the villain. There's really no villain in this movie. You know, they kind of painted as Zod being the villain, but he's kind of just there. So that's another criticism I had. But overall, I liked the I liked Ezra Miller's performance. I liked the performance from Batman. I like seeing them work together. I thought that was great. And then the main story of, you know, him finding out that he can't save his mom and him grappling with that, I liked a lot. So overall, I think it was a good movie. I gave it 8 out of 10. Taking points off because of the CGI and the story issues. But
God bless.
as a whole, I liked the movie and I enjoyed it way more than some recent MCU movies personally. And I did. Now, granted, that could be because I put MCU movies on a higher pedestal, and so I have higher expectations for them than I did for The Flash. But it is what it is, you know. So, but yeah, anybody else can go. Go ahead.
I was for me as a film, I still think it's an enjoyable film. I would still give it a 7 out of 10. I don't think it's trash. Obviously, the ending's a bit disappointing the way it ended, and the CGI is still a problem. And Superwoman was underused, but I don't think this is an actual like a horrible film or an average film. It was an enjoyable film, better than like Shazam and all that this year, Shazam 2 and all that. I just don't understand why it just seems like, at least on the Twitter, you know, on online, it's just getting too much hate for no reason. And Ezra Miller's performance as an actor, I don't understand. Like, it's crazy. This guy was doing scenes by himself and then redoing the scene by himself. Like, that takes a lot of skill. So, I still don't think it's a bad film.
I can go next if no. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. As y'all know, I'm not a DC fan. So I went into this movie with no expectations. I didn't know shit about the story. I don't know shit about Barry Bonds. I don't know shit about goddamn Zod. I don't know none of that. So I came in just hoping to have a good action movie, right? Let's start off with the elephant in the room, nigga. This CGI was booty butt cheeks. Like there were entire like 5 to 10 minute segments where there was no real actors. Like it was all CGI. You know how late? You know, this is the most craziest thing. This movie, have y'all ever seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Yes, I have.
Do you remember when just to make toast, he made an entire contraption mousetrap machine to make a single piece of toast?
Yes,
That's what the movie did. You did all of this to CGI soldiers, action scenes, dirt, baby. Like you CGI this entire fucking movie to get a worse product than if you just put a nigga in some camo fatigues and have him run in the desert. Like
Right.
this CGI was ass. Like
Did it by the one time.
that's why I don't blame nobody that takes so much off of this movie because the CGI was really distracting. Like, for instance, The Matrix. Everyone talks about the Matrix rubber band man effect when he dodging the bullets or when he's fighting in the courtyard and he's like spinning around kicking and he's like literally elastic. It's always jarring, especially when we have real actors and real movements 10 seconds before we see the rubber band man. This movie was a rubber band man the entire movie. And it was poorly implemented. It was unnecessary. Like there were times where he actually had a suit on and then he would take 2 or 3 steps and now it's back animated. Why the fuck would you not just let him walk in the suit? Unless the suit is truly that stiff and that poorly made that he looks so awkward moving in it that we have to animate his ass. They animated his ass being big as shit. Why does he have a big ass? like off rip. Y'all already said the synopsis of the movie. I'm not gonna do scene by scene. That baby scene was fucking atrocious.
Talk about
That was fucking
Atrocious.
atrocious. And then
Atrocious.
And it don't stop there. Like when people kept telling me, "Oh, the CGI bad," I came into the movie late. I walked into the movie as soon as
The baby
the
shower.
Batman
Batman.
scene, and Wonton made me mad.
He did. Me too. Yeah, he was talking to me too.
You cannot say this is the best we've ever seen Ben Affleck when he wasn't on the screen as Batman. That was CGI all the way up until
This nigga, man.
that was CGI
Oh,
all the way
I'm sorry.
up
You wanted Ben Affleck to actually use a grapple gun in real life and
Hold on,
zoom
hold
through
on,
the
hold on.
sky and
One
the smoke
time,
screen.
one time,
Man,
one
cut it the
time.
fuck out. It's the same shit we see in
even
Ant-Man and all the other shit y'all love. Guardians of the Galaxy. Cut it out.
Go
Cut
ahead,
it out.
Alex. Go ahead,
This
bro.
what I want-
I'm waiting.
this what I
I'm waiting in
want
the
you to
background.
I just want
This
to
is what
point
I
out,
want you to say.
Alex is the main one that calls out CGI in literally every movie. I don't need the rest of y'all acting like y'all all of a sudden CGI critics. Y'all wasn't giving a shit about CGI until just now. Hold it
It was
down.
that bad. It was
Hold
it
distracting. But
down.
go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say. If you would have said I love Ben Affleck as Batman and this is the hardest action scene I've seen him in, I would have been like, I get like the idea of Ben Affleck finally getting a fire fight scene, cool, but he wasn't in the scene. I give credit to actors that can blend the stuntman and their face and like prime example, Indiana Jones that's coming out. We've all seen the trailer, right?
Oh my, yeah.
There are scenes where Harrison Ford, old brittle bone ass with vanilla wafer bones. There are scenes where he's cracking a whip in the trailer, and then there's a scene where he's on a fucking horse and his CGI young face looks crazy as shit. Am I lying or am I what? Y'all know what scene I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
The scene where he's on the horse and he go, yeah, and his CGI face is floating over his body. Y'all know the scene I'm talking about. It's so fucking jarring. I notice it in the trailer, right? But there are scenes where it looked like they actually got his old ass to swing a whip. Cool. Ben Affleck didn't do
Swinging a whip not the same as grappling through the air.
Hold up, one time, hold up. There is a way. Ben Affleck ain't some old ass brittle nigga. He is well enough to put a suit on and throw a punch. He didn't do a single act. I don't know if they didn't have the money to do it. He didn't do a single action in that fucking movie.
You can tell.
You know you're wrong, right? You know you're wrong, right?
Look, from I just saw the movie 2 days ago.
I'm telling you, you're wrong, right? The nigga was on set in the suit, on top of the car, pulling niggas out the window. You know that.
I saw the movie last night. Okay, one time. How about this? He sat against that car. He sat against that car with the little mole on his cheek and a nice little peacoat and drove away slowly in the back alleys of the fucking Gotham City. Cool. There was one part, and I know what scene you're talking about, when he got on top of the Jeep and it actually looked like he actually was on top of a Jeep for 3 fucking seconds, and then it went back to CGI.
Yeah,
Stop fucking playing on me one time. That whole scene where he jumped, bro.
Alex, you just don't like CGI. You in every single movie that we watch that has special effects, you call out the CGI every single time, right or wrong. Am I lying, right or wrong?
That's not lying. No. He like Guardians.
He calls it out every single time.
He like Guardians.
Stop, because I gave Guardians of the Galaxy their flowers. So you can't say
one
that.
one movie out of the last 15 that we don't watch. Man, come on.
Bro, a lot of them when it's good CGI, it's good CGI, bro.
Alex is known for criticizing CGI, and he was the only one. But now everybody else want to do it too. Y'all wasn't saying shit about MCU movie CGI.
Visually there, how could you not see it?
Kiso, you like Thor 4. You didn't say a single thing about that CGI.
We talking about the Flash.
We talking about all of it. We talking about all of it.
We talking about the Flash.
I'm talking about all of it. Go ahead.
I gave Avatar they flowers. Was that not an entire CGI movie?
Yep.
You just saw
Avatar is the bar. It's literally using tech that other movies don't have.
Let me give a more recent example. I trashed Elemental's trailer. I saw the movie and gave him props. Did I not? Didn't I just say that?
You just talked about how the animation did look good though.
One time, I just said I trashed the trailer. I saw the movie and I gave it its credit. Did I not just say that?
All I'm saying is
no.
Knowing how you judge movie CGI.
Oh my God.
I'm not surprised by what you're saying.
Damn.
You have a very high bar for CGI, and that's cool for you, but that's what it is.
Obviously, this Batman topic is very sensitive, so I'm gonna just move on.
It's not even Batman. You be calling scenes CGI that's not CGI. That we can actually show you set photos, and you'd be like, "Nah, that's CGI. That's CGI." The same. You do the same.
A lot of the Flash scenes were it was half and half.
Have you ever been to like Universal Studios?
I don't know, Alex. Have you ever worked in a movie?
I'm just Got you. Actually, I have worked on a movie, so got you.
Oh, what movie was that? The
have you-
Tubi one? The one on Tubi?
yeah, actually.
Was it extra?
Have you ever been to Universal Studios or like in California or Florida?
No, I haven't.
Okay. I went to the one, I've been to both on both coasts. The one in California, I've actually been on movie sets. I've actually gone in the rooms and the giant studio green screens where they
You
shoot
wasn't on
Fast
this
and
movie
Furious.
set though.
Okay, all I'm saying is they shoot green screen, blue screen for regular city streets because they don't want to block
I
off
know
a
that.
city.
I know how it
or
works.
have
They did it with
to deal
Spider Man. I know.
Hey, so like I said, there's tons of CGI in every fucking movie. Do you?
But
what
the
was that
problem
one
is
movie that came out?
the problem is you are known for nitpicking it. That's what I'm trying to say. Nobody else. You the main one that be calling it out.
Everyone on the internet is saying the same thing. Are you an idiot, bro? Hey, what are you talking about, bro? Everyone is saying
Kiso,
this.
I'm talking about every movie. Kiso, you need to hold it down. You like Thor 4. You need to hold it down.
You're trying to dick suck for this movie. Everyone is saying the same thing except you. Why is that? Why?
Kiso,
You're
you
not
realize
right.
you hold on. Let me make something clear.
Answer the question.
You
Why,
realize that
though?
there's people that like this movie.
We're talking about
There's
this
people
movie.
that like this
Why is
movie.
everyone saying the same thing?
You
except
have a bias.
Can't you see this?
You
Why
have a
can't you
bias.
see what everyone else is seeing?
You know why? You know why, Kiso? Because I'm not biased.
DC Cat. What are you talking about? The Flashback
Just,
DC
just
Cat.
like you did keep PlayStation, you did keep Marvel.
DC.
Just like
The
you did
Flash-
keep PlayStation, you did keep
What are
Marvel.
we talking about?
Yeah.
You said
Well,
Thor
I
4 is
don't-
better than Doctor Strange 2.
I don't-
You can't say shit about Flash, Kiso.
Hold on.
So it had to be driven to your eyesight.
You
You
said
didn't see
Thor.
this
You
movie.
said Thor 4 is better than
That
Doctor
has
Strange
nothing
2.
to
You
do
cannot
with-
say shit about the Flash.
We talking about the Flash.
But what
Nah,
the CG?
I don't give a shit about nothing you saying about the Flash because you lost credibility when you said Thor 4 was
You
good.
were talking about. So you have no credibility. You know what? One time, your new name is Scottish Cheese.
I know you don't like the truth, but it's the truth.
Scottish Cheese. One time, your new
You
alias
haven't
is
given
Cheese.
Kiso
You
outside of the
are
CGI.
cheese.
No,
You're
outside of the
useless.
CGI, you haven't given no actual criticism. You haven't given no actual criticism.
Hey, bro, I got a list. I'm gonna get my list.
So when it's your turn to talk about the movie, don't mention the CGI. Talk about everything else you didn't like. How about that?
I'm talking about everything that's within the movie, The Flash.
Because that's all you keep talking about.
What?
There's niggas that like this movie. Just because the four of y'all in here don't like it, don't mean shit.
One time, go on Twitter and type in The Flash. In church bars.
So Alex, go ahead and finish your point. Alex, go ahead.
Hey, Alex, let
Go ahead.
Alex finish his take though. Let Alex.
Yeah, go ahead.
What the fuck? Y'all niggas turned up. Okay. Like I said, I could go for 10 more minutes of scene by scene of CGI that I thought was abysmal. The reason why I'm such a stickler for CGI is because I know if not the budget, I know the brand, nigga. There are certain things that you just don't do for the brand. We see even in racing movies, all types of movies. There's certain shit that you can't do because the brand of a Mercedes or BMW, they not gonna let you beat their car up like that. If we look at Transformers, you never really see their car get fucked up like that. There's a reason why. They got brand deals in place to say, oh yeah, you can use our car. You're not about to make our shit look like it break down after you hit it once with a hit. Nah, you know. So I know what they are representing. DC, this is not an IP to play with CGI. And of course, it had to have been an artistic direction because they did the entire movie CGI. I'm not trying to make it, because we talked about this movie last night. The CGI isn't what made it a mediocre movie to me. I don't think the movie was mediocre. The end of the movie CGI was some of the best I've seen for that whole film. Like, I truly, truly love the last 15, 20 minutes. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Really, really liked how they did it. But it was jarring. It was 80% of this movie was CGI. It literally was, okay, I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but y'all know the time where he's running in the ball and there's like he's looking at slideshows of shit.
Yeah.
All of that being CG, all of that being like claymation 3D graphics was jarring as fuck. It was weird. He's on screen with his, with what we see in the trailer, him and the dude or whatever, his stunt double, and literally within 20 seconds of one another, they switch whose real face they're using, and it's obvious. It's not well done. That's all I'm saying. That's what I mean by it's distracting. Like, one person will talk, and then it'll flip to another character, and then back to them, and then one nigga's head is kind of floating on a swivel, and the other, you could tell the other nigga's real, but like they was switching it for no reason. Like, just keep one nigga looking like that the whole time. But I understand maybe the way they did the shots, maybe the way they had to do certain scenes, it just made more sense to do these with the real face because he got this outfit on. I get it. I don't really give
Most
a fuck.
of the people
But
they showed in those scenes you're talking about are not alive.
no. I'm talking about Ezra Miller.
Talking about when they go through the
I'm talking about when both Ezra Millers are on screen. Within 20 to 30 seconds of each other, they're switching who's doing the mocap on the face.
Even the
Okay,
Batman scene, his helmet is mixing in with the CGI with the it looks, you can tell that they're trying to make the practical effects with the CGI. They did not do a good job blending it together.
Tyrek,
one of those Ezra Millers was fully CGI. That's why.
No, it wasn't. I'm telling you
No,
one time.
I'm telling you,
doesn't.
Alex, there was two people filming the movie. There's the real Ezra
I
Miller,
know.
and there's a nigga that looked like him that they put Ezra Miller's face on top of. That's what I'm trying to say.
I know. Wonton, I know. And there were scenes where Ezra Miller, the nigga that went back, like the one that we're introduced to at the beginning of the movie, the clothes he's wearing, it's a real face. Switch 2 seconds later, the other nigga with the other clothes is using the real face, is what I'm saying. I'm not dumb. I'm telling you what I'm looking at. And furthermore, the Batman that we saw, who was the older nigga that played Batman one time? What's his name?
Michael Keaton.
Okay, Michael Keaton. His fight scenes were fire. And they looked like it was really him, and like there was obviously a stunt man, but that's what I mean by whether it's CGI. They did his scenes perfectly. Ben Affleck, it did not look like that. It didn't look. That's why it was so obvious. We have an example.
That's where I disagree. They look the exact same to me.
Damn, no, they didn't.
There's a scene of Michael Keaton's old ass doing a fucking backflip triple pirouette kick. That shit does not look realistic. Like, what are you saying? They look the same.
Nah, bro.
Are you talking about in the kitchen?
When he fly, no, I'm talking about in that scene underground when he fucking glides down and kicks all them niggas. Bro, that looks the same.
Didn't have any fights like them though. Wonton. That's the thing. He was on a bike the whole time, or he was swinging around. The Michael Keaton had on the ground.
I was specifically talking about the scene where Ben Affleck uses the grapple hook.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about. His fight scenes were all like cable based. Keaton was on the he was actually whoever the stunt actor was on the ground fighting. It's actually choreographed stuff. Ben Affleck didn't have none of that stuff. He was on a cable half the time.
Tyrek, in that same scene, he literally glides down. That's not on a cable. That's not on the ground. He glides down. And he's flying.
I'm gonna get off CGI because we're gonna argue about this the whole night. Let me talk about Ezra Miller. As an actor, I'm not mad at it. I'm not familiar with how Barry should be played. I don't really care. What I was given with, I wasn't mad at it, but I can definitely, if someone said they didn't like the portrayal, I definitely get it. Like, he was kind of annoying, but I mean, he kind of had to act his age. He was like, what, 24, 23 in the movie?
The younger one was 18.
But they did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. They did that. You know, the younger Barry, they made him more obnoxious just to show.
No. The actor himself was annoying to watch act, is what I'm saying.
Wow.
Like Ezra Miller's facial expressions, tonalities, he just annoyed me. Like some actors, I don't like watching act.
He's not okay. He's not, Alex. I know you don't care about the comic version. He's not an accurate, even like physically. He's not an actor, and his personality. That's not how Barry Allen in the comics is. Smart and a confident type of dude. Even before he got his powers, he wasn't like a dork. So they made him kind of like that 2000s dork. Oh, I got like Peter Parker. They made him like Peter Parker, but even worse. You know how they always used to like typecast the guy who got powers as this lonely kid that like never had friends, and he got powers. He got all the confidence. Basically, that's what they did with Ezra Miller. They did this 2000s comic book shit with them, and then added him back in. He just dropped out. Goddamn.
Yeah, he dropped out.
Yeah, Ezra Miller is not a accurate representation of what Barry Allen is or Wally West. Because some people really put me Wally. No, both Barry Allen and Wally West are not like how they portray Ezra Miller's Barry Allen. It's two different characters.
Eric,
Right,
I heard
especially
they
Wally West,
compared this to
especially Wally.
Impulse. They compared him to Impulse. He's acting like Impulse.
He's like Bart Allen or like those younger people, like those one-off flashes, like Jesse Quick or some shit like that. But this is not Barry Allen, bro. Barry Allen's like
he's a forensic scientist, and even though he's the first in this movie,
Oh, for my connection.
he's one of the smartest people they have, like in the Justice League. Like he's a quick thinker. He's confident on his feet. Like he's not like I don't know. He's not like Ezra Miller. He's not the same character.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
My connection's fucking up, but I did hear pieces of what you said. So like I said, yeah, I don't know the actual canon of how he should be. I just know that this is the only thing I've ever seen Ezra Miller act in, and to me, I just think he's an annoying face to watch act. But aside from the CGI, aside from me not really caring to see Ezra Miller on screen, if I was a DC fan, all the cameos, all the like, the same way that Marvel can make one sentence in a dialogue has spawned like 2 months of speculation for like YouTube people. Like, you know, like in Marvel movies, they might say something, and you're like, oh well, shit, they just said so and so. That means that this and this and that.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of that in this movie that I casually know as somebody that just knows a little bit about DC. I feel like if I was a DC fan, I would have really, really loved those nods to certain things in that universe. So I thought they did that well. It didn't seem forced. It was very casual when they would bring up some shit, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I think I know about that. I think I know about that. So I like that. The cameos were fire. I thought that was heat. The soup. I don't want to spoil nothing. All in all, if you go in not caring about the CGI, if you can get past the CGI, if you can kind of just appreciate this as just an action movie, it's not like it's not bad. Like you have to watch it to the very end to appreciate. Like if I would have walked out, I would have given it a worse score than if I just stayed to the end. I know that sounds crazy, but it literally takes until the end of the movie for me to feel until I felt like, you know what? It wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. As an action movie, superhero action movie, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. But when you tie into the fact that this isn't DC's first go with this, they've had other blockbuster hits. Like, I know this ain't the same actor and direction as a nigga that did Joker or Batman, but I think this opens a bigger dialogue. Shazam was ass. Black Adam was ass. This Flash was mediocre. I think they need to realize that what really hits.
That's the wrong time to disconnect.
Go ahead.
Oh,
I don't think he can hear. Alex,
I think what they need to realize is that their lane should be the adult take on comic books. Batman and Joker, nigga. People were talking about them movies. They don't give a fuck about superhero movies. Just the cinematic piece that they just watched. They loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And Marvel hasn't done that yet. And
that's why with DC, it's like I'm confused with this movie. Why they didn't put the Reverse Flash? Because that's one of the darkest villains in DC Comics.
He was supposed to be in the sequel. That's not going to happen now.
Well, that's stupid to me. That's why that's dumb, because they confirmed that Reverse Flash did kill the mom.
They basically later the director confirmed that it was going to be expanded to say that it was Reverse Flash in the sequel. But the issue is
everyone knew it was. We knew it was him.
I know, but people, the general audience don't know. They don't know who the hell the Reverse Flash is.
That's the point. That's why you include him in the movie so people can find out.
But there's no proper setup, because remember in the original comics, we did not know who killed Barry's mom until Barry came back from Rebirth, and then they confirmed it.
But we know Reverse Flash though is a known villain though. He's not like some one-off villain. People know Reverse Flash. The CW show. I'm not saying he wasn't popular then. Most people watch the CW show with Reverse Flash, Eobard Thrawn. People know who he is. This is why you have to introduce him in the movie and have an actual villain. Barry being the Dark Racer, because that's what he was. He was a Dark Racer. That's a nice twist, but you have to bring Eobard Thrawn in the movie if you're gonna make that plot point. I feel like they had a lot to work with. They didn't. I get why they didn't put him in the movie. But he was there, and I feel like they should have at least explored that a little bit, because there's not going to be a sequel. So we're not getting Reverse Flash. They fucked up.
And there's another issue is that how many times you see a superhero film and then the villain is just them evil with the same powers? We've seen it too many times. That's why the director was going for a different route.
Reverse Flash has a unique backstory to why he's like that, and they didn't play on that. Reverse Flash is Barry's. He's only the way he is because of Barry Allen. Barry Allen created Reverse Flash because he's in the future, and it led up to the point where he became and resented Barry Allen. That's why the Flashpoint story even happened, because of the way how he his extreme dislike for him and like his hate for Barry Allen. That's why that meme that it was me, Barry. That's why it's so fucking popular. People know why. Like that's not Joker Batman level, but it's pretty damn close. That's why I don't get like the whoever made a decision not to put him in the movie. I'm like, well, that's that's the next best villain that you're gonna get in DC apart from Joker, because the rest of the villains fell on their ass and didn't do shit. So I don't get why they wanted to turn away from it.
My connection fucking up, so I'm gonna just say this and that'll be my last point. It's since I like Joker and Batman, I really, really, really want DC to move in that direction. It sucks because this Flash movie felt like a step back from those two, but I do understand that they're trying to get their multiverse shit popping, and to me, this is a shaky way to introduce that.
Well, those movies are separate. The Batman and Joker movies are separate.
There's no multiverse.
I know that. I'm just saying at the end of the day, they introduced the multiverse. So we've always seen that once Marvel do some shit and they big universe, DC got to do their shit for their universe. We got the Avengers, then DC did Justice League, but they rushed it. It wasn't that good. Marvel did the multiverse, whether you like it or not. DC doing their multiverse shit now. Like I said, as somebody who don't care about the comics, but I want to see good movies, I wish they just stayed on the grounded route, make it realistic. Because if they gonna go this multiverses route, this was not a very strong first step into the multiverse.
They're getting rid of the multiverse. This is it. They're not bringing the multiverse back. This is done. They
rebooting the DC universe.
Yeah, there was a setup for it.
They're not doing because the multiverse in Marvel works because Marvel actually has a more established multiverse like thing in their comics. DC has one, but DC reboots their shit every 2 to 3 years now. Mm-hmm. So DC doesn't. They have a multiverse, but they don't really fucking give a fuck about it too much. Marvel does more with the multiverse in their comics for like the last 20, 30 years. DC's tried it, but every time DC does it, they do a crisis event and they reset it every damn time. So they don't really give a fuck too much because they keep doing basically how their movies are. They take 2 steps forward and they reset. And they do it. That's what they've been doing essentially. Going forward though, they're gonna go back and they're gonna do what Marvel did. They're gonna start off, do origin movies and build up to a team up and do what Avengers did 10, 15 years ago. Don't know how that's going to work because people are going to be a little bit burnt out on the origin movies, but you know what? Batman sells, Superman kind of sells, and a Joker makes money. So maybe they're able to like work something out, but that multiverse shit is dead for them. They only did this shit because they need James Gunn to have a fresh slate. That's it.
They got to stop with these origin movies, bro. I'm not watching another Superman or Batman origin, bro. I'm not.
No, well, the next Superman movie and Batman movie, they're not origin movies. They're supposed to. Well, he says Superman. He's supposed to be like a year into being Superman, and then Batman.
Have Damian.
The Batman's gonna have a kid, so he's gonna be Batman for a while in the new one.
No, I'm talking about not saying like, oh, this is how I got my powers. I'm saying starting over with a new actor, new direction. Like I'm not doing it no more, bro. I'm not doing it no more.
Well, the only reason I'm not against it is because like we've been saying, the DCEU has been ass. So I would like them to start over and make good movies for once.
This is a ad hominem shot. I'm so glad Gal Gadot is not gonna be Wonder Woman anymore. She can't fucking act, bro. She showed up in a movie and like, oh my fucking god, this bitch again. She can't fucking act. Please stop casting her in roles. She cannot act.
Remember,
isn't there an update? I think she's still talking to them. Like because before they said that she was gone, and now they're saying they're talking to her. But
if you notice, you'll say all the actors been saying that shit. We've been in talks to see if we can continue.
Okay, they're trying to
if we can continue the role. That shit ain't happening.
She can't act, bro. She can't act. She's so wooden in her performances. She was
I agree.
For 5 minutes, she pissed me off.
In that movie, they said a line to her, and she waited 8 seconds before. She just stared at him from 8 seconds, and then said, "Sorry, I'm late." I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
they waited for the fan
Kal-El,
reaction. They did the
no.
same thing on No Way Home when Andrew came through. They waited for
Oh,
the fan
Kal-El,
reaction.
no! Remember that dumb shit?
Yeah, that is so
Oh,
bad.
I'm going to save you now. Remember she did that shit in her movie? Oh my gosh, she fucking sucks. Please stop casting her. She fucking trash. She pissed me off in what's that movie in Fast and Furious? She is not a good actor. She fucking sucks. She used to go back to Israel and fucking go back in the defense force. She fucking sucks.
All right, y'all. We gotta get to the other people. Red Pig, go ahead and give your thoughts real quick.
Well, for context, I want to let you know a Transformer costs 140
Hold on,
million.
speak up, Mumble Mouse. Speak the fuck up, nigga.
All right. So, for context, Transformers: Rise of the Beast costs 140 million to make. Also, Doctor Strange costs 250 million to make. Thor: Love and Thunder
So
costs
more than Flash. Okay.
250 million. Actually,
So more than Flash. Okay.
Flash costs 265 million to make.
What does it have to do with your thoughts of the movie?
And it looks this bad, nigga. What I'm building up to tell you is the CGI is inexcusably terrible, nigga. I don't know what the fuck you watched, nigga. That movie.
I watched a 2.5 hour movie.
Movie
that's what I watched.
It's 2 hours. It's 2 hours and 30 minutes of Benadryl, nigga. That shit is boring, nigga. At
Yeah,
best,
now you're just being fucking stupid.
that's me. This is me being nice for you, nigga. At best, is a 5 out of 10.
You don't gotta be nice for me. You go give your thoughts.
It's the average superhero movie that heavily relies on cameos to me. Michael Keaton is unfortunately the best part of this movie. Barry Allen, I don't like how quirky. I say Barry Allen. Ezra Miller, I don't like how quirky he is. The shit is ass. The cameos didn't do nothing for me. The big cameo that everybody clapped for, that shit was ass to me. The cameos those looked fucking terrible. I don't know why you was talking about how you liked Batman. That shit was ass as well.
Real quick, you don't have. I just want to point out you've never seen the original Batman movies, and you didn't grow up watching.
I know, and he was the best part of the movie, which is crazy. I should go back and watch those. The CGI, the entire 30 minutes, beginning 30 minutes of the movie, nigga, terrible visually. It starts off slow. It could get you a little sleepy. Also, it's never explained how his mom dies. You don't see it. They rush through it. Obviously, it's the Reverse Flash. Y'all explained that, but that shit is ass. Like Tyree said, should have been in the movie. Yeah, it's just a mid movie. Is gonna lose DC a lot of money. They should be ashamed of the effort they put in. Whoever worked on this movie, I feel sorry for them that they had to have this on their credits, because this is one of the worst looking movies. It took over 200 million to make. It's one of the worst looking movies ever made. Which is a big part of a superhero movie, right? We go for the visuals, right? So yeah,
it depends
terrible looking movie. Who really goes to superhero movies for a deep, thought-provoking story?
Just like Batman.
Who said anything about thought-provoking?
Hmm.
Sometimes we just want to see a good action movie. The same thing as John Wick. Same thing.
Yeah, and this movie is not a good action movie.
Well, you also didn't like John Wick, so I don't know if you're the best.
I didn't say I didn't like John Wick. John Wick shits all over this movie, nigga. This movie make.
Red you said Transformers is better than John Wick, so.
Oh, it is, and
okay,
Transformers also better than this movie. Yeah, John Wick. This movie make Keanu Reeves look like a god, nigga. Yeah, I'd rather watch him say that for 4 hours than watch this fucking movie, nigga. Also, I would like to say this might be a shock to y'all, but Fast and Furious X is better than this movie.
No.
Fast and Furious X is more.
See, Red Pig does this thing where he tries to be dramatic to hate.
No. This is true. Fast and Furious X is a more entertaining watch than Flash. I'm sorry you had to hear it here first, nigga. Transformers is also a better movie. Elemental is a better movie. You could go see so many better movies. I'm sure The Blackening is a better movie. So many other movies deserve your time and money than this movie. I feel sorry for the people. I'm mad. I will never get those 2 hours and 30 minutes back for that mediocre movie I just watched, bro.
What did you like about the movie?
What I like about the movie, the ending was cool. him with his mom, that was the best. That was honestly the best part of the movie to me. It had a fat white man next to me crying, sniffling for that lame ass shit.
Did you like Ezra Miller's big juicy ass?
No, I did not.
I'm gonna be real, Alex. Nobody noticed his ass but you, brother. What you want?
Yeah, I have not
Damn.
heard any comments until today. I haven't.
Go watch that movie. That nigga holding.
I will say, to me, my favorite part about the movie is how they like it was very subtle how they like interweaved like the origin story into the movie. I like that. It wasn't just a straight up origin story. It was like subtly in there, like they showed how he got his powers and whatnot. Showed how his mom died. It wasn't like a straight up origin story. I did enjoy that. That's probably the best part of the movie to me. Oh, and Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's Batman is the best part of this movie. Also I want to say Supergirl, she's ass. I hope they don't recast her, but they did say they was gonna recast her. So look forward to more ass Supergirl.
No, she's not confirmed to be coming back. That's not confirmed yet.
Oh, I thought they confirmed it. My bad.
She just said she's had talks with them.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out, Repeg, the positive things you just said. You realize that's a fair amount of positive things that somebody could to go in and enjoy the movie.
I said the ending. The last 5 minutes with him.
Michael Keaton, the whole backstory about how he got his powers.
Michael Keaton, the only good part of that scene. And I like how that. Ooh, okay.
No, I just want to say, is a common theme here. People complaining about the CGI, some of the story elements that I also complain about, by the way. But there's a lot of good parts to this movie that make it so enjoyable. Nobody's defending the movie saying the movie's perfect. I don't understand why you guys no. A lot of the complaints y'all have, I agree with. I just feel like even with all the negatives, there's still a lot of good there that is being overlooked. But Repeg, you can go ahead and finish if you like.
Yeah, there's so many other movies you could be watching right now. Actually, I have a list of movies that y'all could watch instead of the Flash that's in theaters right now. Across the Spider-Verse, y'all could go see that again for the third time instead of the Flash. Elemental, good movie, go see that again. Little Mermaid, I would have watched that over Flash. The Boogeyman, I might go. You should go see that instead of the Flash. Fast X is still in theaters. You see that over the Flash. Transformers still in there. You see that over the Flash. So many good movies. It's summertime, man. The Flash is not a good summer blockbuster. It's ugly. Mediocre acting. Certain exceptions apply. It's just if you just don't go see this movie, basically. Yeah.
All right, now Kiso, go ahead with your thoughts.
Cut him up, Keys.
First of all, I want to say that I went into this movie with no expectations. Because I know because I know ultimately it doesn't matter because of the reset. James Gunn has his own vision. So I said, I'm just want to go in and enjoy a good Flash movie. So I thought. I want to say the CGI is very inconsistent. I don't want to harp on it. Everyone has already said what needed to be said and addressed regarding the CGI. I do want to applaud them. However, with the two Ezras, when the Barry 1 and Barry 2 were on screen together, talking to each other, I thought they did a good job with that. So I will applaud them for that, which is to me what's so baffling. How could you get this so right, but get majority of everything else so wrong? When it came to the CGI, so it's inconsistency. I don't know if the production team ran out of time, or like the director said, it was his creative vision. Air quotes. As one time posted in Discord, so either he stood beside it or just wanted to make sure that we were informed. Either way,
I just wanted to keep y'all informed.
Well, I digress, but I digress. Even though we already knew, but you told us again, so you want to make sure.
How did you know? You didn't know that.
We spoke about it already in Discord, but maybe if you stop, no,
hey, we ain't asked for all that. Get your thoughts on the movie, nigga.
So I'm gonna get into, I want the audience to know I'm gonna get into a little bit of spoiler territory. Going forward.
Go ahead. The spoiler tag is up. Everybody's free to spoil.
I give this movie a 4 out of 10, and there are multiple reasons why. First of all, I want to say, when it comes to Michael Keaton Batman, I'm not even sure if that's the Batman from the old movies. If that's the Michael Keaton from the Batman in the old movies, it was so inconsistent. Michael Keaton from back then, that Batman from back then, those movies, you wouldn't have to motivate him to want to, fight Zod and protect Earth. Why would you have to motivate Batman to defend the Earth? That makes no sense. We have Zod, an alien coming down to terraform the Earth. But you got to, hey man, hey, Gotham's good, so I'm good. What? He's trying to destroy the planet. But you're happy with, hey man, Gotham's good, so I'm good. We all die. What it is? What? What? Idiotic. CGI cameos. Like I said, I don't want to harp on it. RP, Christopher Reeves and others, CGI cameos. You would have been better off getting people who were alive. Tom Welling, he's not doing nothing. You couldn't have called him from Smallville or make a cameo. Why was, Henry Cavill, James Gunn, you dissed him. Why couldn't you bring him back for a cameo? You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you clearly needed him instead of these pointless CGI. And also, why were these cameos so Superman focused? Is this a Flash movie or Superman movie? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to have all these Superman cameos. This is a Flash movie. Towards the end, I was like, are we shifting to a Superman movie? Or is this still a Flash movie? But like one time said, everything's okay.
Nobody said
the
that.
jokes. That's what you're acting one time.
Nobody said that.
That's what you one time. You give it an 8 out of 10.
That's how I know Kiso don't listen. Nobody said everything's okay. Nobody said everything's okay.
Insinuating one time, you give it an 8 out of 10, insinuating that most of it's okay to you. Okay, 8 out of 10 is what.
And you gave
80%.
it a 4 out of 10 off of CGI.
No, I'm still going. Didn't I? I just mentioned Batman. I just mentioned CGI.
The Batman, I got an answer for that, but keep going. Keep going.
Okay, one time, you idiot. Anyway, a lot of the jokes didn't land. There were some jokes that did land, as far as when Barry, well, so what I'll do is say Barry 1, for our Barry, and Barry 2 for the younger Barry. When Barry 1 lost his speed, which is stupid as well. When Barry 1 lost his speed, and when he tried to run with the little floppy, I thought that was like, okay, he's making fun of himself. I see what they're doing. It's satire comedy. How they're letting us know, yeah, it does look stupid the way he runs. To me, I do enjoy satire comedy. So when those, type of comedy points are done in movies, I do laugh at those. But a lot of the comedy didn't hit. I don't know if this was direction the director gave for acting when it comes to Ezra Miller. Barry felt autistic. He felt like he's on a spectrum. I don't know if that was what they were trying to portray for this character, but like Tarek mentioned earlier, this is not comic accurate when it comes to Barry, and that's something I want to separate. I didn't want to hold this against the comic, or the animated films. What I did, however, compare it to was the CW show, because we have recent live action media, to what a decent Flash property, live action property, can look like, and the CW Flash is multi levels better than what was displayed in this movie. So
now, Keys, real quick, have you seen?
Can you clarify? Do you mean as a character, the story? Like, what do you mean by that?
I would say as a character. I think the CW handled the character.
Okay, I'll give
Flash.
You that. But the writing in the show was trash. Be honest.
I want to say the first 2 seasons of the Flash, the first 3 seasons are pretty good. The first 2 seasons are
good. Even the third season had good moments.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're pretty good, but I don't want to dive too deep.
But Keys, have you seen Justice League?
I have.
So you saw how Flash was in those movies. I feel like he kind of carried the same performance from those movies.
I want to say it kind of regressed. I think Alex mentioned this earlier, how we need more darker DC or darker hero movies. Snyderverse was meant to be that. It was meant to be a darker take on these hero movies. I mean, this was the first movie, at least in my memory, where you had Superman actually killing someone, breaking Zod's neck in front of civilians. He had a choice to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I don't want to interrupt, but to add what you're saying, remember in the Spider-Verse how is that nigga named Miguel?
Yeah, Miguel.
2099?
Yeah.
Remember how serious that he felt?
Right.
What we're lacking in a lot of movies is these superheroes actually acting like the world is at stake. These funny little, not every superhero needs to be some amateur comedy hour. Oh, well, I'll just say a funny little quirk. It's not that bad. No. Niggas like Miguel, if they have more niggas like Miguel in movies, then I'll believe the serious and the gravity of the situation. But I just wanted to add that I agree with you. We need more serious, like niggas to actually be in these movies as the heroes.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, and I agree, and that was what we were heading for. Even Ezra Miller's acting in those Snyderverse films were different in this Flash movie. It seems more of a regression. Like I said, I didn't feel like he had ADHD in the Snyder films, but in this film, I was like, is he autistic? Does he have ADHD? Like, what is going on with this? With the direction of acting. Once again, I don't know if that's Ezra Miller's thing or if she directed that way. I'm not sure. Another point that I had as well. Like I said, so we're in spoiler territory, and I'm not going in order. I'm just kind of trying to think that I remember. Barry didn't learn his lesson. What was the point of this movie? He
You're wrong.
No. That is a fair critique.
Yeah,
That ending
he
was that
didn't
is a
learn.
fair
He
critique.
didn't.
Right,
It's
right,
true. It's
right.
fair.
He didn't learn his lesson. The whole movie was him to accept, move on, understand there are things you can't change, move on, accept, deal with it. At the end of the movie, he changed something anyway. I'm like, so what was the point of this movie? You set up this whole arc, this whole character arc for him to grow and mature, not only as a person when it comes to self-reflection, by him dealing with Barry number two, but also as a hero, understanding, yo, I need to move on. I need to accept that there are things I need to deal with emotionally, mentally, and move on, and just move on with the rest of my life, not only as a civilian, but also as a hero. That completely was dismissed when they changed, and of course during the court scene. Y'all know what I'm referring to. I don't want to spoil too much, even though I have spoiled some, but he didn't learn the lesson. That's I felt like that there was no payoff for this movie. Also, once again, already said, the CW Flash, I feel like he did the multiverse a bit better. When Grant Gustin, that Flash, is going through the multiverse, I like how you can see, they're not trying to rely on CGI, should I say. So you can see, the Justice Society Flash. You can see Flash from different Earths, and it's not just CGI. Like, they had real people, real Flash people, and it's like looking out into a window, but like Borderlands. If y'all play Borderlands, whenever that one person comes on screen, I forgot her name, whatever, and she's like talking to you. That's how it was in the CW Flash. He's looking into these pockets, dimensions, or pocket or multiverses as he's running. Like, okay, there is that Flash, there is that Flash, that's that world, that's that world. And it's actually, I don't understand how a CW show can get better cameos than an actual multi-million-dollar movie. To me, that's mine. That's mind-boggling. I don't understand how that even possible. Inconsistent writing. Why would Barry 1 lose his powers if Barry 2 doesn't get them? If Barry, and I only say this is this, Barry number 2 dies, nothing happens to Barry 1. So why is there such an emphasis on, if Barry number 2 doesn't get his powers, Barry number 1 doesn't get his powers? But if Barry number 2 dies, nothing happens to Barry number 1. To me, that's very inconsistent. I don't know if anyone has an answer for that, but to me, that's inconsistent writing. That's inconsistent storytelling. Why would you set one thing up that, hey, Barry 2, we have to make sure Barry 2 gets this and stays alive, but at the end of the movie, Barry 2 can die and nothing happens. Barry 1 is still just fine.
I think it's the setup with the thing at the end.
Right, exactly.
The person, I bet, because basically that thing was created
because of B2.
Yeah.
But
because of Barry 1, whatever.
Right, but just you see what I'm saying though? So there's inconsistencies with what affects B1 and what doesn't affect B1. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's inconsistencies of how B2 can affect B1. Like, to me, that's too inconsistent. So along with the CGI, along with the character, along with, I feel like, the progression from the Snyderverse, along with the writing of how they handle Batman pretty much being nonchalant that the Earth was in danger. And also, I didn't like the acting from Supergirl. I just didn't. I'm sorry. It wasn't compelling. I feel like she really didn't have a place in the movie. I feel like if she wasn't there, the movie would still been the same. I didn't feel that she was an impactful character. But once again, that's my personal take. But yeah, those are pretty much my gripes, with the movie. I see my boy Gian just joined. Gian, I would love to hear your movie. Your impact, being your AVI. Your Avi is the Flash. So
yes, sir.
a big Flash fan since I was a youngin. So my thoughts changed on this movie. I initially was liking it more after I saw it right out the theater, but soon as I got home, like gave it a couple days to think about it, I realized the flaws in the movie. Like what you meant, like pretty much you mentioned a bunch of them, Kiso, like
Mhm.
Barry not learning his lesson. Like it was Barry number 2 that made the poor choices, kept trying to alter the timeline and save that world. And then Barry number 1 just sees what happens when you go down that path of obsession and trying to get what you want in a world that it's not going to give it to you. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to let my mom die, but I'm going to move the can up just a little bit just so I can save my dad. And then oh wait, my universe is messed up because I don't have the same Batman anymore, and now there's other repercussions that either we will know about or we won't know about, depending on how James Gunn's universe is gonna go and what he brings forward. And then also, I originally was thinking like I liked how Ezra bounced off of himself, like with the character, but overall, his portrayal of Barry Allen is not Barry Allen, because Barry Allen can be awkward, yes, especially around Iris West, who he loves and like admires, but he's not to the point where like he's just like making silly like jokes, like to the point of like he just seems like he's got like Asperger's or something like that. He's just a really nerdy guy that is really smart and has this fast thinking and is really committed to trying to make a better world that didn't do justice to his dad. But Ezra's kind of depiction of Barry Allen here is just that like quirky, I'm gonna say a little joke here and there, be socially inept this moment, but then I'm gonna have to work with people this other moment. So it just didn't feel balanced. Whereas, like you said in the other movies, he just felt like he was just this nervous guy that was thrust into this world of super beings and just had to go and work on the fly to be able to live up to the responsibility that comes with being that character, the Flash.
Right.
So he definitely didn't learn his lesson and there was no real character development. Also, going back to the multiverse thing, the CW Flash show definitely explained the multiverse better, because in there, it's multiverses are all connected by paths that operate at a certain vibration. Like each of our universes vibrate at a certain frequency, and you have to be able to reach the other universe's frequency to be able to reach their universe. So it made sense in the show. Here it's just like, oh, you break time, you see the other universes. Like, well, yeah, it makes sense. To a point, if you break something, you might affect other parts of reality, but how? They don't show it. It just happens. Like, people want to be shown, other people want to be told, but I feel like you need a healthy balance of both. You have to say, okay, these are the rules of reality. If you do this to reality, then it just destroys it. And the whole chronable thing of just having him go in and trying to change the timeline so much that the universe gets undone, it just like feels like kind of half-assed. They don't really flesh out that sci-fi aspect of it to where you understand that, oh shit, he really shouldn't have done something, and
You know
is
what?
causing a consequence that really is going to be catastrophic for not just him, but for everyone he loves and holds dear to him.
This does feel like, now that y'all reminded me or kind of made me realize that this is the last movie of this like direction. This does feel like a just one last shotgun blast of here go a bunch of ideas, nigga. You know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, pretty much.
The Aquaman in December, which technically happens before this movie happens.
Yeah. We got
So
one more.
Oh yeah, it's true.
DC just fucked up their timeline so fucking bad. Like they can't even do the reset right because they have movies after the reset coming out after the movie comes out. It makes no fucking sense. But that's Warner Brothers for you.
Yeah, they just tried to take this, like you said, a shotgun approach. They tried to take all their IPs within DC and be like, oh, remember this, remember that? Yeah, there you go. You love this movie because it brought you a big blast of nostalgia, right? So rated good. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even bring back like the Dark Knight Batman. Like they shit people
Could've.
like will remember. Because them bringing back like the guy from the 1950s, which he kind of did not like.
I mean, that was cool.
Yeah,
I thought that was lit. I thought that was cool.
They couldn't get the rights to everyone. And the director said there were other cameos he wanted to include that he couldn't.
No, he
Yeah,
had the rights.
I can understand
Warner
that.
Brothers. Warner Brothers owns the rights. They have the rights.
Tyreek, it's not
But
just you have to reach
Christopher
out to
Nolan,
people's
right?
estates.
But
You can't
no,
just put people in a
it's-
movie. You have to reach out to their
Yeah,
estates
they
and get permission
own
and things like that.
And also, they recreated characters from the dead that probably shouldn't have been recreated because the guy in 1950 who played Superman, he committed suicide because he didn't like playing Superman. Don't know why they brought him back for that. I don't think his family would appreciate that.
He got
Yeah,
typecasted
that's a whole
as
controversy.
Superman. Like he couldn't get any roles after the Superman.
Yeah. And
That's made
then
him depressed and then unalived himself.
the other guy, Christian Reeves, he's dead. I don't think they should have recreated footage of him. They could have used archive footage. Don't know why they like a lot of the CGI recreation is weird because did the family approve of this? I know they like did they okay this? We don't know, but that's weird to me. And I get the Nicolas Cage thing. It's a funny gag joke,
Yeah.
but how is people actually gonna know what the fuck was going on with that? Like, raise your hands. How
Man,
much
that last 15, 20 minutes was the most lit part of the movie to me, bro. When that got to that point, I was full 100% attention.
all the worlds were combining, we're like melding together.
To me, the fighting
that,
was.
to me,
the
that was the
fighting
most
too.
lit part of the movie. I was like, oh, let's fucking go.
I don't know if
I
y'all
like the
noticed.
last fight
Each of
scene.
those colors was like the emotional spectrum, like the green for the Green Lanterns, yellow for the Yellow Lanterns.
Yeah,
I
the lantern.
don't think people realize a lot of. I was watching a lot of spoiler channels and they didn't bring that shit up. I'm like, yo, you don't realize that those are the green, like those colors of the emotional spectrum. But a lot of people don't know about like past the yellow and green. But yeah.
Well, it's ironic because like they didn't want to go in depth with the Green Lantern and that part of the DC universe, but they use all those colors that are significant within the Green Lantern Corps and Sinestro Corps, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, they had like the red lantern core, the orange lantern core, the white lantern. The only way you see, I think it was a black one, but probably the reason why they didn't show that one. But yeah, it's just weird because a lot of these movies today, like they try to do the nostalgia trip, and this is where I blame No Way Home, Spider-Man. Where where the movies just, hey, remember berries, remember this shit, remember that shit, remember you liked this shit like 10 years ago. And you know, it's cool when movies did this shit 10 years ago, but when you have 10 years of movies doing this, eventually the act gets old. You can't live off nostalgia. I mean, it was cool to see Michael Keaton. I'm probably one of the only people in here that's old enough to remember watching that on VHS, because that movie came 89. I was born 92, and I saw Batman Returns, and I saw the other two Joel Schumacher movies, the Batman Forever and the Batman and Robin with George Clooney. So I to me it's cool, but to me maybe 15-year-old me would have been like, yeah, cool, this is fire. But 30-year-old me is like, all right, I get it. I saw this when I was younger, but it's not making a movie for me. And this is where I'm like, who is their target audience for? Because this is not obviously not targeting kids, because kids don't know who the fuck Michael Keaton is. But it's trying to target people like me.
The kids also didn't know Tobey Maguire was. You got to understand. At the end of the day, Tyreek, Spider-Man No Way Home made over $1 billion. There's going to be movies that copy that formula.
But they know who Andrew Garfield is, though.
Yeah.
Even Andrew Garfield, that was 2012. A lot of the kids, my brothers, my little brother. Hold on. My little brother is 12 years old. He turns 13 in September. He was 2 years old when Andrew Garfield was Spider-Man.
Yeah, but
he don't know that nigga.
There's multiple kids that are.
As a matter of fact, he know Toby because he went back and watched the old movies.
But there's kids. I'm talking about kids who watch kids who are going from 12 to 24 or something like that. Like that age group of people. That's the main people who are like the nostalgia trip and older people too. I'm just saying the people going to buy these tickets are people like no kids 12 years not buying these tickets. Like you're buying these tickets to see with your kid, or you're gonna go see send your kid to see it by
if you
themselves.
think about it, that's probably what the plan was. There's going to be dads who grew up on Michael Keaton that's going to take their sons to go see the Flash. That's probably what the plan
but then
was.
it's like you watch the movie as an adult. You're like, well, I get it, but for the casual fan, a casual moviegoer, this is probably whatever, cool. But like for people who like actually live this shit, like us, I'm kind of like, all right, I get it. It was cool, but what did it really add to the overall mythos of Flash? Nothing.
You know what else is funny though? That now that you mentioned, we bring up No Way Home. The same way a lot of these cameos didn't hit for people in the Flash, there are people that think No Way Home is a bad movie because they didn't give a fuck about the cameos.
I
It's
thought
a
No Way Home was
parallel.
great. I thought No Way Home was
If
not
you
that
care about the cameos, you're going to rate it higher. That's just a natural thing. It's
but it
nostalgia
depends
based.
on how the cameos work because the Green Goblin was excellent in that movie. He made the movie. If he wasn't in the movie, that movie is trash. I thought the
Fantastic.
movie was good, okay, but the way how people were sucking that movie off, I'm like, this movie's not the best comic book movie ever made. You guys are fucking insane. It's a decent comic movie, but it's decent because William Dafoe gave a crazy ass performance. That's
Yeah,
why.
that whole
Fantastic actor.
the whole
Yeah.
what was the line? Gods don't choose, we take.
Yeah,
That whole line, like that shit was fire.
that's what,
His
but
performance is crazy in
if
that
you're
film.
gonna use
Man,
cameos, you gotta
stupid,
use those
dog.
cameos the right way. And I feel like Flash didn't use the cameos the right way. Like it was cool seeing Michael Keaton, but it's like there's other cameo. You wanted a cameo. You know what they should have done? If you're gonna get crazy with the movie, bring back start mixing animation with it.
Yeah,
Should've-
that's what they should have
they
did.
should have
Yeah.
brought back. You know,
Hell
who
no,
most
y'all
kids
would have said
know?
y'all would have gave it a 2 out of 10. Come on, be
No,
real.
but
they should have brought back
That would have looked
the
terrible.
animated Wally West and had
yes,
him in the
that
fucking
would have been dope.
That would have been fire.
because
Michael
most
Rosenbaum loves that character
my
too.
Flash growing up is not Barry Allen. It's Wally fucking West from Justice League.
Yeah.
So most people Barry Allen is like for older people, like it's like a generation ahead of me. I grew up watching Wally West. Wally West is my Superman from year 1999 till whenever they stopped doing the Bruce Timm verse. So it's like maybe it's just Barry Allen. I think Barry Allen in the comics is a cool character, but Wally West is the real, like, actual more popular Flash.
Yeah,
It's
and the
always been-
faster
Yeah,
Flash.
but
That's
no,
why
but
we're
Barry
so
Allen.
pumped to start with Barry. No one cares about Barry. Like,
Nah, I wouldn't say nobody cared.
come
I
on.
wouldn't say
The thing
I
is,
wouldn't say
no one
nobody
When you
cared
think
about
of
Barry.
Flash, you think of
not
Wally
a Flash.
West.
Wally West is our Flash.
Yeah, Wally
Yeah,
West
you think
is
of Wally West.
the most popular
see.
Flash. Yeah.
And that's why I hope
Yeah.
going forward, they do Wally West from the Bruce Timm verse and kind of take his personality, because we have this weird autistic Flash. I hope they're done with it, and I hope the next Flash they say it's Wally West, and we're gonna make him like that Bruce Timm Wally West and go forward, because that is the most popular version of Flash. Out of every type of iteration of Flash, is very popular. His comics don't sell that well, but he's a regular Justice League member. He's not a big three, but he's right below that. He's right near Green Lantern and around there. But Wally West is that type of Flash. And I hope going forward, Wally West is the Flash going like him, and I don't know who they're gonna pick for Green Lantern. Because the most popular Green Lantern isn't Hal Jordan. It's actually a lot more other people. So there's so many different not variants, different types of Flashes and different like Green Lanterns. Going forward, they got to pick the right one. They got to pick the one to resonate with the audience more. I think Barry Allen, they tried to make him this geeky, dorky dude, and I feel like that era of superhero movies passed by. We're not trying to see that shit no more. This
Yeah,
isn't
done.
like, we're trying to see like actual real people. Not like, I get it. Some people are kind of autistic or kind of on the spectrum. We got people like Scotty. Shout out to Scotty. But like, come on, like we don't have to do this no more. Like Barry Allen could have been a normal person that was really smart, and he didn't have to be an awkward, geeky dude. And I think a lot of the movie was him navigating that, which is cool. But we don't need to see that no more. I feel like going forward, Wally West, bring him back, and then go like, yeah, Barry Allen should be done. No more Barry Allen. We done. We had the CW show that fucking got horrible over the time, and we have this shit, freaking bullshit, which is a good movie, but there's no way going past this. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do next. Like, the movie flopped. They're obviously not gonna make a sequel. Please do Wally West. That's
You know
like,
what?
Now,
No, but see, the direct. I got some. Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say, if I had a scale of like what I don't want to see with DC movies, Shazam would be at the far left, Then it
Yeah,
would be Black Adam. Then it would be the Flash, and then it would be Joker and Batman.
I agree. I'm same thing.
I can see that. Yeah.
What
I
do you say,
got
John?
more for
Oh
the
no,
Flash.
I was gonna say that like you see my pet AVI, of course, Wally West Flash from the '90s up to when they finished the Bruce Timm verse was the Flash that we all grew up with, or most of us,
Yeah,
and he's a great Flash. But to say that people don't care about Barry Allen is not true. It's just that he passed the torch literally to Wally when they jobbed him in Crisis on Infinite Earth. So when he had to make that sacrifice just to make sure that the Anti-Monitor wouldn't literally destroy their universe, their whole multiverse, people were like, okay, we accept Wally now, so that's good. And I feel like they tried to repeat that kind of sentiment here, but they failed because Barry does have a pivotal role in multiversal stories. Like he was the original character that brought in the multiverse when he went to Earth 2 and saw Jay Garrick, the
right.
Flash of Earth 2.
That's okay, yeah,
Who,
Jake
by the
Garrick.
way, they should have got John Wesley Shipp, the guy from the 90s
Bro, they should
CBS
have.
show, instead
Or
of
they
the guy
could have
that
got
played
Jay
Should
Zoom.
Garrick.
have done that. Had one cameo.
Bro,
Yeah,
or they should have got Jay Garrick from CW. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
That's,
understand.
yeah, that's what I'm
no,
saying.
my thing is what
Yeah.
the reason why that Barry Allen. I say no. It's not no one cares about Wally West. Ended up just taking over the name. It's like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's like one of the first comic book characters where like the second iteration, even though technically Jerry Harris first, but I'm talking about but he technically wasn't a Speed Force Flash. So because he got his powers from some of the other shit, but
They had
he's a
direct on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like the second iteration that actually took over. Like they can't. Like no one's taking over for Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne, like they tried it, and it's like, all right, Damien's gonna be Wayne, Nightwing's gonna be Batman, and it's never gonna fucking ever catch. Superman, they tried it with like other people. It's never gonna fucking catch. For Flash, for Wally West to even like, he was the first character where like the second iteration became more popular than the first. And that doesn't happen in comic books. People get fucking mad when you replace the first iteration with a second iteration. Look what they did with Thor and Lady Thor. When she became Thor, people were fucking pissed. But then they're going back to Thor to be like Thor's son ended up becoming Odin's son ended up becoming Thor again because that's how comics is. Wally West is still like the most popular Flash, and it's been 30 fucking years since they did that shit, and he's still the most popular one. And Barry Allen's never reclaimed that throne, even though in the animations and shit, they still put him there because they kind of have to for the continuity purposes. But Wally West is still like, if you ask people who's your like, who do you remember as Flash, Barry Allen or Wally West? People are gonna say Wally West. Unless you're like you watch a CW show only, but people around me and John's age and like Kiesel's age are probably gonna say Wally West, which is incredible for comics. Like that doesn't happen. That really doesn't happen where that second guy becomes the main character, or like he's that guy you think of when you comes to, like you say Flash. Usually it's always the first guy, never the second guy. So he kind of broke that barrier.
Now, let me
Yeah.
say this real quick, and if y'all want to
Mhm.
chime in, y'all can. But let me just get back to something real quick.
Go ahead, buddy.
And I said it in chat a little bit earlier. So I just want to point out something I said earlier about these movies, the DCU movies. To me, the majority of them have been garbage. Okay, so when I go to a theater or I watch one of these movies, the expectations automatically are low. Okay, and on that same level, I rate them differently. Now, what I'll say is something about me as far as movies go, and y'all notice, I used to be very like, I wasn't being fair in my critiques, and I can admit that now. And I had this conversation with Jack and BG, I think in the After Dark a month or so ago, where they talked about how
This is character development right here. One time, want you to know
they
that. This
they
is
talked
character
about
development.
how you can't rate all movies on the same scale. You can't rate a fucking Oscar picture on the same scale as like a comedy or Eddie Murphy movie. Like, you know what I mean? Like they're different movies. They have different strengths, and
They're
I agree.
different. Yeah, they're
you got to
differently
look at them a little
weighted.
bit differently. Yeah. So no. So with that, the reason why I think I enjoyed Flash as much as I did, and I gave it an 8 out of 10 the way I did, is because, like I said, these movies are garbage. The DCU movies are garbage. The bar is low for me. The bar is low, and
this wasn't more of the same.
even with the bad CGI and some of the story critiques that I had along with John and Keese, I still had fun watching the movie. Okay, I liked seeing the action in the movie was good for me. Michael Keaton's performance, to me, he still got it. Michael Keaton's performance was great in this movie.
He was, yeah.
I really liked Ezra Miller's performance. I thought he did a good acting job, and he's been in a few movies. Like I think he was in the Fantastic Beasts movies.
Yeah, he was good.
He's
at that
not a
role.
bad actor. He's just a weirdo. I thought he did a good job in this movie, performance wise. I liked the different aspects of like him and then the younger version of him. Even though he was annoying, it made sense in the story. Like,
It was,
he's
done
the
on
annoying little
purpose.
brother. He doesn't know shit. He just got his powers. He has to learn, right? And then you have that final scene with his mother. That was a great scene in the movie.
That was that really hit
All
home.
in all, like, yes, there's story critiques. Kiso brought up some good points. Now, granted, Keith, I want to mention that's what you said about the whole,
The Batman thing.
why'd you have to convince Batman to save the world? I kind of get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like at that point you can kind of tell he gave up on life, so that's why they kind of had to pull him out of that. But like I said, I still see what you're saying. All in all I'm saying is this: for y'all that didn't like the movie, that's fine, bro. I'm not saying, oh, you gotta like it, you should like it. All I'm saying is the bar was low, and the movie cleared the bar. I went into the movie expecting it to be mid. As soon as I sat down, like, yeah, this shit about to be mid, but I'm here, bro. It cleared the bar for me. It's one of the best movies in the DCEU. If we comparing this to MCU, the movie is ass. But compared to DCEU, this movie is good, bro. It's a good movie. It's a fun watch. Would I say everybody go out and pay a ticket? No, but when this shit hit HBO Max, check it out, bro. Check it out.
Well, we're reading it like
check it out.
on the
Yeah.
Xbox, right? So we're like doing how we do Xbox. We're like Xbox, like
I
kind
just
of
think it
tries
was a
hard.
fun watch. It had
Yeah, this
issues.
is a Game Pass movie.
Yeah,
The
That's the
CGI was definitely bad. The CGI was
but-
definitely bad. But the thing about the CGI for me, to me, and I know Alex has a better eye for CGI. To me, it was really only two moments where the CGI stood out to me as being atrocious. In the
And what is that
beginning,
for you?
in the beginning
The
with the
entire
babies,
movie.
in the beginning with the babies, and when he was in the Chrono Bowl and you were seeing the cameos
whole
in
movie,
the pictures.
Yeah,
No, because
they
that's
all
not.
look
That's what I'm
like-
saying. That's not the whole movie. There's so
And
much more to the
Batman,
movie.
and Batman didn't look bad to you, nigga.
No,
Nah.
Batman did not look bad to me at all. I'm sorry.
Ben
he did not.
Affleck Batman didn't look like
Nah.
straight
he did not
CGI
look.
to you.
Red Pig,
The Chrono Bowl
Red Pig,
moments
you
were
weren't even
like
saying until Alex brought it up earlier.
10
I don't know
minutes
why
Chrono
you
Bowl
saying
was supposed to be
overall.
done on purpose, supposedly.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
because it was.
God.
Nobody
No,
brought
I
up
already
Ben.
said.
Hold on.
That's what
Nobody
he
brought
said.
up Ben Affleck looking bad till Alex said it. So now
Yo,
Ben
look
Affleck
at
look
the
bad.
general chat, bro.
Come on.
What is that?
Y'all doing like what the Xbox
See, but that's my
dudes
thing,
did
Tarek.
to
When you
Aloy when
when
they
you
grabbed
post
that
it- when you
one
post-
still shot
That's
of
what I'm
her
saying,
looking
John.
all like
When you post a
fatter.
still
It looked
image,
bad in
when you post a
motion.
still
It looked like
image,
straight
when you post a
CGI.
still image, we can point it out. Bro, in motion, that
The
shit, I did
cape,
not notice
the
that
cape
shit. In
looked
motion, that
Exactly.
shit
bad.
looked
Him
You
fine.
don't
jumping
know.
all
You
over the place
you don't
looked
notice it in
bad.
motion.
Bro, the cape looked stiff.
Thank you. It
gliding
looked
through the
terrible.
air. It didn't look, bro. It did
Yeah.
not look good.
The entire
it's-
first 30 minutes of this movie looked awful.
You can tell how bad CG looks because when you slow shit down and in motion, when it looks choppy like that, look, I dare you. Let's slow down. We can watch Infinity War. Let's look at the best movies with the best CGI: Avatar, Infinity War, Endgame, Guardians 3. When you slow those down, the animation still looks smooth. When you slow this, I know you don't watch the movie slow down, but a lot of the ways you can tell if animation, like the CG is good, is based how it is when you do a still shot. Because that's not that Thor image. Remember Thor and Heimdall's son when they
Yeah.
did that fucking Skype
Yeah, but
call?
that looked bad in
It
motion.
Yeah.
On screen, that looked
horrible.
terrible.
But even this, that's a still shot though. But even this, it looks plastoid. It looks fake. It looks like some shit out of like the 90s. It looks like some Scorpion King shit. Like I don't get. It was that bad one time. Where that's why I can't give it more than a 6. It's locked at a 6 out of 10. This all I had to do was be decent, consistently decent. I'm talking about like. What's a decent movie? Decent CGI. Like,
Those scenes, Tarek, when he was
honestly,
actually using his abilities
and
and,
that
and,
type of
uh,
movie,
and
bro.
running
Decent
fast,
CGI.
those speed scenes where he was running fast, those look great to me.
Yeah.
Nah, I
Look,
didn't like
He
his
run,
running.
everything about it.
His
is
running
bad.
compared to CW
His running is slow
Flash
motion,
looked
but visually
terrible.
it didn't look bad
And
to
this
me.
we get one time. You're lowering your expectations for this DC movie, nigga. Had it been a Marvel movie, you'd be like, this should look ass.
But Red Pick, I just told you
How do
that
you
they
how do you
have different
still look good after
skills.
seeing movies like Eternal?
Your skills is different
They
than
have different
ours.
skills.
Yeah,
And matter
but-
of fact, speaking of Eternals, Tarek
blaming-
don't like
I'm blaming
Eternals.
this on a
Eternals is one of the
superhero
best visual effects we've seen in superhero movies, in
Eternals
my
have
opinion, in
done
the
the
last
best.
5 years.
I will say this: Eternals has the best The display of Speedster, yes.
That's
The
what
visual
I'm
effects in that movie in general are the best we've seen in the
Yeah.
last 5 years.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
RSM comes in at the end and plucks them out of the
Yeah.
earth, that looks cool.
Also, the Flash cost more to make than that movie too. So
That's insane. If you're gonna copy Marvel, copy that shit, please. Like, I don't get why we do the slow down shit with the
People just got
speedsters.
different scales. The same way Red Pig is rating Transformers as high as he is.
Yes, it's a
That
better
movie is not.
It's a more
No, but
That's
better in
Red
every
Pig.
way
That's to
imaginable.
you. That's to you
No.
because you love
No,
Transformers.
to many people in
honestly,
here.
Most people are not rating it
I
that
can tell
highly.
you-
The movie's
Yes,
not
I
getting
rated
good reviews. It's
Transformers
not
highly.
doing well in the box
Fast
office.
X is more entertaining.
I had more fun with Transformers than the Flash, to be
Oh
honest.
my god.
Thank you.
No.
Fire,
But that's
Thank
coming
you.
from a
Thank
biased, a very biased Transformers fan that
Exactly.
has
See,
loved
John, and John,
the
John, that's fine
Transformers
because
fan
you're admitting
since
that.
the
That's fine.
80s.
Red Pig don't want to admit that.
No.
Yeah,
Like, what?
because like the thing is, I can
What do you mean?
still,
No,
I can,
you're
I
a
can still
biased fan. You're a
fairly
Transformers fan.
critique Transformers.
I wouldn't
You're
say I'm a
biased.
Transformers super fan, but I follow the series enough where I watched like the shows when growing up, and Beast Wars was one of the ones that I liked. But I'm not like B Arsenal where I'm like all into this shit. But I can
Right.
definitely watch it and follow it.
Yeah.
And as a person who watched every single Transformers movie and shit on Age of Extinction and shit on Last Night and liked Bumblebee because it was a nice reset. You have to have context with watching these movies. Beast Wars, you have to have watched that show to even have any comprehension of what's going on in this movie. I feel like it's not one of the movies you just go into blind and because
Red Pig don't know nothing about no Beast Wars.
No, but
I don't.
I think
And that's what the movie.
And you saw the Transformers logo and it was instantly a 10 out of 10 for you.
No, I didn't give it a 10 out of
No,
10 though.
Oh, I'm sorry, 9 out of 10. It was trite that time.
it's a good 8 out of 10 movie if you're a Transformers fan.
I just want Red Pig. You don't like to admit your bias. You have bias with games, movies, TV shows. You don't never want to admit your bias. It's okay to admit your bias.
Let's really get down to it. One time, you only like superhero movies and Oscar baity movies, nigga. You don't watch nothing else.
I don't know why you bring that up like that. That's something
you dick eat most
wrong.
superhero movies. This is one of them. And you dick eat them Oscar baity movies, nigga. That's all.
Red Pig, I haven't liked the superhero movie in 2 years. What are you talking about?
You're like Guardians 3, nigga. What are you talking about? You lying.
The last superhero movie that I really I thought Guardians 3 was actually okay.
Hey,
The last
Guardians 3 is
superhero movie
actually
that I
a good
really
movie.
liked.
Yeah, that's
that I really liked was Batman.
Now he's trying to say he don't like
2022 the
superheroes,
Batman.
Because guess what? One time, that's the only thing you go to the movies to see. Them shitty Oscar baited movies and them
Okay, Red Pig. Okay, Red Pig. What do you go to the movies to see? Hold on, Red Pig. What do you go to the movies to see?
Look, all these movies we talk about today,
Red
you
Pig.
like, I'm gonna wait till it hit the streaming service. I'm gonna wait
Red
till
Pig.
Disney Plus. I'm gonna wait till
What do you go to the movies to see, Red Pig? Please tell us.
You know what, Watson? If anything, nigga,
He don't want to
your
answer the
movie got
question.
passed.
He don't want to answer the
Nigga,
question.
If anything, no. If anything, your movie got passed.
So hold on,
It's
let me
Because you don't
clear
go
this
to
out for
movies to
y'all.
watch movies, nigga.
Red Pig is saying that I only go to the movies to see superhero movies and Oscar bait movies. But if we flip it around and we say he only goes to the movies to see Pixar and fucking Transformers, what are we saying?
That's not true. That's not true. 'Cause I've
Okay,
seen more
then you
movies
tell
this
me.
year.
What else do you see?
The only thing you've seen that I didn't see this year.
You
is
still
that
not answering the
garbage
question. So
ass,
again,
Boys Afraid
your argument
movie,
failed. Flop.
which is
Flop.
another
Just like
Oscar-baited
Transformers.
movie.
Flop. Your argument flop. So we can go on and we can move on.
Transformers didn't flop.
Transformers did flop.
Transformers
No,
did
no.
flop. Are y'all stupid? I'll show you the box office right now.
Transformers didn't flop. It made
Here
more
we
money.
go. Nope, here we go.
Still charting
Here we go.
number one. What are you talking about?
Thank
Oh,
you.
here we go.
Thank you.
Fuck.
Here we go. Because niggas obviously
Well,
y'all don't keep up with. When
What's
it's a
the
movie
budget
y'all like, y'all don't pay
for
attention to the news.
Trans-
Apparently,
What's
That's
the
what it sounds.
budget and the marketing budget for Transformers?
$700 million in the box. Wait, that's the wrong one. Let me stop.
Exactly, stupid ass. The movie's flopping.
278.9, so 279 million. That's what I'm seeing off a quick Google search for Transformers. That's how much they made.
Yeah,
The budget.
The movie is getting
way better than-
the
which is not a flop.
movie is getting
Which is not a flop,
fucked
which
by
makes-
Spider Verse.
Which makes it profitable. It only costs
No, it
$140 to
doesn't,
make,
Red Pig,
nigga.
because there's $100 million
Yes, sir. It
fucking
makes it
marketing
profitable.
budget that
The
you're not
movie
accounting
is
for.
already profitable. Yes, that's included with marketing, nigga. The movie
You don't
is
know what you're
profitable.
talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
It made $280 million already. It's only been out for 2
Thank you.
weeks. It's gonna hit. It's gonna make.
It'll hit
its money
500
back.
million. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's gonna make at least
already
100 million.
profitable.
Yeah,
The movie is
It's
flopping.
it's actually one of the top 10 grossing movies of the year, nigga.
Red
So
Pig
it
is
shows how
June.
much
It's
you
June.
know.
Red Pig.
It shows how
It's
much
June.
you know, nigga.
It's June. Red Pig. It's June.
But one time, you made a good point.
If it was
though,
fucking
that I
November,
actually might
okay, you'd
to
have
use
a fucking,
against
you won a
though.
trophy. It's June.
One time
The
don't
biggest
really
movie of the
watch
years
movies,
aren't out yet,
He only
dumbass.
watch
The biggest
Oscar
movies of the
baited
year aren't
movies
out
and
yet.
superhero movies, nigga. He only go to the theater
Red
to
Pig,
support
you
the
watch dog
Oscar-baited
shit.
movies
You
and
like fucking
superhero
Jurassic
movies, nigga.
World, Transformers, fucking Elemental,
Decent
another
movies.
flop.
Okay, movies.
Mm.
Okay, movies. And Jurassic World
Fuck
wasn't
outta
a
here.
flop, nigga. Jurassic World wasn't a flop, nigga.
It
That's
was
how
a
you
dog
just
shit
talking
movie.
now.
That's what it was.
You mad because you only like
It was dog
Oscar-baited
shit.
movies, nigga. Let's really talk about it.
It was dog
You
shit.
only watch Oscar-baited movies. Let's talk about how shitty Boys
I don't.
Afraid is.
How
nigga.
is that
Let's
a
talk
bad
about
thing? I
that.
watch movies that
I'm
get
afraid to watch that
awards.
garbage ass movie,
Do
nigga.
you hear
Let's
what you're
talk
saying
about
right now? I watch movies that get awards. I'm sorry. I'm
Oscar
sorry. I got
baited
good
movies,
taste.
They don't all
I'm
get
sorry. I got
awards,
good
nigga. They're
taste.
Oscar baited. The Oscar baited.
Maybe you
If they
should
make
fucking
you
try
cry,
it.
and
Matter
they
of fact,
scream
Red
you
Pig.
up, they
Speaking of
scream you up,
Oscar
this is
Beatty,
my life.
you
Oh
wasn't
my
even a movie guy
God.
until I put you on, nigga. You was watching bullshit.
No.
You was watching Jurassic Park and shit, nigga.
No.
Until we
And
put you
even
on.
if
Me and
that's the
Alex put
case,
you
nigga,
on.
and even if that's the case, nigga, I watch more movies
You
than
watch
you
dog
now,
shit.
nigga.
You watch dog shit.
Oh my God.
I watch more movies
See,
than
this is
you
the thing
now.
about you. You think quantity over quality. No, nigga, quality over quantity every time. You can watch
Nigga,
more
we
dog
movie
shit.
guys. We movie guys.
All
nigga.
like-
We go watch
Just
movies so
how
they don't
about
have
this,
to.
Red Pig?
We
Just
watch-
like how
we go
you got
watch movies
fucking
so they
30
don't
games
have
in your
to, nigga.
games beat list. That's all dog shit.
No.
Pass list.
No. We watch
Fuck
movies
outta
so they
here.
don't have to, nigga. We watch movies.
Fuck
And
outta
if we
here.
want to talk about games, nigga, you just the same like your movies, nigga. You
I
only
play
the
good
big
shit.
blockbusters.
Sorry.
You only play
Nah, nigga, you
Spider-Man
bullshit,
games.
man.
nigga,
Matter of fact,
and the
Red
big
Pig, let me get on your
AAA
ass.
games.
Let me get on your ass, Red Pig.
The
You just
fuck?
sat up here and talked so much shit about Scarlet Nexus, how much you hate the fucking story, and you still beat it.
No.
You're
I said
dumb.
I said the last level was
Why
ass.
do
I
you
said the
play
last
games
level
you
was
don't like to stat pad your fucking list? Get the fuck out of here.
You like shitting on movies for bad
I play
CGI,
games that I
just
actually
Alex,
like,
nigga.
nigga.
And guess what?
I
You
play
wanna give
games that I
Flash a
like,
pass,
and I
nigga?
watch movies that
You
I
wanna
like.
give Flash a
You
pass,
can't relate.
nigga? 'Cause
You
it's a
can't relate.
superhero movie, nigga. Yeah.
You can't relate. So while you sitting up there, and hold on, Red Pig, let me ask you this: did you like Jurassic World 3?
Say it again.
Did you like Jurassic World 3?
No, Jurassic World.
The one that came out last
yeah.
year. Did you like Jurassic
Yes.
World?
Yes.
So you like Jurassic World? Do you like Jurassic World 2?
No, I do not.
You like Jurassic? Oh, you sound like you liked it when it came out. You like
No, I
Jurassic
didn't.
World
I didn't
3?
like it at all.
You like Jurassic World 3, but you shitting on the Flash. Please don't say shit to
Let's
me.
look-
Don't say
What?
shit else
Let's
to
be-
me.
let's be real.
Don't say
Let's be
shit
real.
else
Let's
to
be
me.
real.
You
Let's
like
be real.
Jurassic
Let's be
World,
real.
nigga. You can't say
Let's be
shit
real. Jurassic
else.
World 3.
Your taste in movies is ass. Your taste in
It
movies is
looks better.
ass.
It looks better. It's more.
The only reason you even here,
It's more
nigga, is to give your
entertaining
thoughts
watch.
on the dog shit. When Fast and Furious came out, you was the only one that saw it, and there's a reason for that. Ass.
What? I only watched it because
And you
of the
loved
Movie
it.
Guy podcast.
You loved
For
it.
the Movie Guy podcast.
You said Jason
Real
Momoa
movie
was great.
guys.
Vin
Real
Diesel was
movie-
hilarious.
real
Oh, the movie, the action was
movie
amazing.
guys.
You fucking
We're
loved it.
movie guys because we watch shit so they don't have to, nigga. That's the memo you not getting.
Fucking
nigga.
bum ass
You go
movies.
watch
Nigga, Top Gun was your
Oscar-baited
movie of the
movies
year.
everybody
You know how many
gonna
great
watch.
you know how many
Everybody gonna
great
watch.
films you know how many great films we had in
You can't-
2022 and your
you
favorite
haven't-
movie
you
was
haven't
Top
watched a
Gun.
single movie that nobody has seen
Your
this
favorite
year.
movie was
nigga.
Top
You
Gun.
haven't been able-
And hold on,
Chill out,
wait,
nigga.
Tyrek,
Top Gun was a
wait,
great
wait.
movie.
Top Gun
Chill
is
out,
not a
nigga.
bad. Top Gun 2 not bad, but for
What?
that to be
Top
your
Gun-
movie
Top
of the
Gun-
year
Oh,
in the year of
That
stacked
was
films.
we was movie of the year though. What are you talking about?
No,
I
get
thought
the
that was a-
fuck
that was an
out.
acceptable
Get the
movie.
fuck out.
Are you out of your mind?
Get the fuck out.
What are you fucking up, coke? You
Nigga,
doing
I'm
drugs,
turkey
bro?
burger.
Hold on, Tyrek. Don't let me get on you, Tyrek, because
Brain,
your taste is worse than Red Pig. Don't let me get on you, Tyrek.
Yeah.
How
But
about, nigga?
anyway,
Well, my favorite movie is the most awarded movie of all time, nigga.
I don't give
Bow
a shit
down,
about
bitch.
no awards. I care about if the movie good or
Bow
not.
down, nigga. My favorite movie of all
I care
time.
about the movie good or not. That's why Red Pig argument don't make no fucking sense. You know how many you know how many movies got Best Picture Oscars that I don't even think are good. But Red Pig don't know that.
The history of the fucking history of movies, nigga. Bow down,
Anyway,
nigga. Fuck out of here.
anyway,
All
All I'ma say is this. All I'ma say is this.
Animated movies ever made, nigga.
all I'm gonna say is this. Going back to the Flash.
Wait, hold on, because you got.
I enjoyed the movie.
Wait.
The movie
You got
had
on
bad
Dr. Strange
CGI,
having bad
but the
CGI.
rest of the parts of the movie to me were enjoyable. That's the only reason I liked it. Bottom line.
You're fucking blind, nigga.
You got on. So Tyrek, you got on Dr. Strange for having bad CGI, but the Flash get a pass.
I already explained to you why I don't like Doctor Strange. You don't
What?
listen.
Doctor Strange CGI is consistently better than whatever the fuck Flash put out.
But
You're insane.
Tyrek, that's the thing. It's not all about the CGI. I explained multiple times why I I don't
You
like
said the
Doctor
CGI
Strange.
was tough. You said the CGI
No,
was
so
bad. The
so
CGI is not.
no, you're not listening. What I said was
No, I am listening. Nigga, you
no.
said
Let
that
me
before.
talk. You're
You
not.
said that
Let me talk.
verbatim.
What
No.
I said was Doctor Strange 2 had bad CGI that was not called out. The only person that called it out at the time was Alex and me. Nobody else in here was calling out the bad moments of CGI.
your biggest talking point for that movie is the CGI.
No, it's not. See, that's how you know you're not
talk about
listening.
it.
We've already
You're
said
not
that.
listening.
I
Okay,
agree
so hold
with
on,
you
Tyrek, hold on,
if the
wait,
story was better with Scott Derrickson.
wait. What does it have to do with the CGI? It's not, you're not making sense. Every time that I criticize Doctor Strange 2, my main critiques were I did not like what they did to his character. I felt like it was a downgrade from what we got in Infinity War, Endgame, and No Way Home.
Different directors.
They downgraded him to prop up Scarlet Witch. I did not like that. I also did not like the story. I did not like the story, how they handled the multiverse of madness. Where was the multiverse? We saw a fucking 30-second clip of him going through fucking different universes, and then we saw some cameos, and then the niggas that was cameos got fucking murdered in the first 2 minutes. I did not like that shit.
Well,
I did not. I didn't. Hold on. Let me. I'm telling because you asked me what I didn't like. I'm telling you what I didn't like. Speaking on the CGI, the very opening of the
Tyrek, nigga, we already went over this.
Tyrek, the very opening of the movie, it opens with them in the fucking middle of nowhere in space or the universe or some shit. It looks terrible.
It looks where the book was, nigga. You didn't pay attention.
You're not. I don't give a fuck. It looked terrible.
Oh, here we go.
Hold on. It looked terrible. Nobody's called that out. The fact that America Chavez is there randomly, where the fuck did she come from? She wasn't set up at all. And then, no offense to her, I know she's young.
Set up. He's the reason why they're able to hop to the multiverse.
Tyrek,
what are you talking about?
You keep talking. I know she's
bullshit, though.
I know she's young. You need to wait till somebody done talking. Damn, shut the fuck up. Now, I know the actress is young, but she couldn't act. She was terrible in that movie. Every line she got, it felt like she had it written on her fucking wrist that she was reading it. It was terrible. Nobody caught that out. There's a lot of issues with that movie that people are not calling. The piano fight at the end of the movie when he's throwing fucking piano notes, absolutely terrible. That's one of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen it in a superhero movie ever. I do not like that shit. And on top of that, the reason I hate Doctor Strange 2 so much is because you gotta understand, they were hyping that movie for a year, bro. Like, oh, Doctor Strange 2 is about to change everything. Scarlet Witch is about to go crazy. I went into that movie with exponential high hopes, and it did not meet any of them. So for me, the movie was a huge disappointment. Yes, that's why I hate it so much, and that's why I said it was better than Thor. Even though Thor is bad, Thor had better moments to me than Doctor Strange. The moments with Gore and Thor 4. The moments of Gore, that was better than any moment to me.
What moments of Gore? Did you read that? That was nothing like Gore. What are you talking about? Nothing that.
Tyrek. Furthermore, you can't talk because you don't like Eternals. Eternals is a great movie. It's one of the best movies we've got since Endgame. Great story, great characters, great visual effects, and you don't give a shit about any of that.
The only 2 movies Marvel got with a B cinema score was fucking Eternals and Thor.
Now we're using cinema. Who cares about fucking cinema score? Who cares? No, I don't.
All the time, nigga.
I don't post no fucking cinema score.
To be fair, one time for Flash, you kept showing us that Rotten Tomatoes.
I showed the Rotten Tomatoes because you were hitting on the movie, and I said, look, it's getting good reviews. You should go see it. Not to mention, hold on. Not to mention, Red Pick. I did that so you could go see the movie, and you saw the movie. Now, if you didn't like it, that's fine. You have that right to that opinion. I just wanted you to watch the movie. So yeah, I showed you the Rotten Tomatoes score. But nobody lives and dies by the score. Now, granted, no, I don't. If you notice, the only time I bring up scores is when we arguing about.
We're gonna
hold on. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. When y'all be like, "Oh, that movie's ass," and I pull up the score and it's getting great reviews, and you just look crazy. But when it's a new movie that's out and it's something that we want to see, nigga, I don't give a fuck about no score. I'm gonna watch the movie and see if I like it. It's only used for argument's sake. It's the same thing as Metacritic. It's only used for argument's sake. Nobody gives a shit. You know how many good games that I like, Tyrek, that have bad Metacritic scores? I don't give a fuck. It's the same thing with Rotten Tomatoes.
I know. It's in platinum easy games you got.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Games like Days Gone. Games like fucking Jedi Fallen Order. That game is like an 82 or something. It should be way higher than that.
That's a good Metacritic score.
No, it should be higher than that. That's my point. There's games that have low scores in the fucking 70s. I'll give you another example since you don't want to go with that. Dying Light 1. Dying Light 1 has like a fucking 60 or 70. The game is great. So again, no, it's not about the scores. All I'm trying to say is, because y'all keep bringing up Doctor Strange, that movie disappointed me on a personal level. It's that simple. It disappointed me on a personal level to the point where I can't appreciate that y'all appreciate about that movie. Not to mention, even if I take myself out of it, Tyrek, hold on, look. Even if I take myself out of it, there's still parts of that movie that fucking suck. Like, for example, that piano fight. I don't care what nobody says. Him throwing fucking musical notes in a fight is ass.
How is it
When you
ass?
When you talk
fire.
when you talk
Fire.
when you talk about Tyrek, when you talk about Doctor Strange and all the abilities that he has, when you see what he does against fucking Thanos, and you tell me that he hold on
comics.
when he's fighting Thanos.
ridiculous.
When he's fighting Thanos in that short scene in Infinity War, the shit that he displays, and then he gets up against a nigga that has the same abilities as him, a fucking doppelganger, and what does he do? He throws a fucking musical note.
He
Get the
doesn't
fuck
have the
out.
time
That shit is ass.
anymore.
No, I don't
He
give a
doesn't
shit.
have
You're
the
defending the
time
movie. I
anymore.
don't give a shit. It's ass.
He doesn't have the time stone anymore, and
It's
he
ass.
fought like that, and that's ripped out of a
The
comic.
time
book.
stone
That's
is not what gave him those powers. You making shit up now. You just making shit up. You doing
half the
fan
power
fiction.
is
You doing fan fiction to defend the movie.
Nigga. First of all, you don't.
And then you always want to bring up the comics. It's not the comics. It's MCU.
Wonton. I know you think you know what you're talking about. You don't
No,
watch.
Tyrek, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about, Tyrek. You don't.
Yes, I do because
You trying to bring in comics knowledge into the movies that have nothing to do with it.
Fuck up, my nigga. You talking for
No,
2 hours.
you want to talk over everybody. Now I'm talking over you, nigga. How about that? You want to talk over me? I'm talking over you. You want to talk over me? I'm talking over you. Go ahead and get your point across. Try to get your point across.
Just because you don't.
What you gonna say, Tyrek? What you gonna say? Huh? What you gonna say?
Because you don't read comic books.
How do you feel about Doctor Strange too? Huh? How'd you feel?
You know what I'm talking about.
How'd you feel?
What are you talking about?
I'm letting you talk. I'm just talking over you like you did with me. Go ahead.
No, because you were talking.
No, because if you think about it, no, because if you think about it,
okay,
no, but for real, because in the comics,
first of all,
first
of all, fat ass.
Oh, see what you don't know, what you don't
You're
know,
writing
yeah, what you don't know,
what
you don't know,
musical note thing.
No, what you think about
it?
That music was in the movie. Shut the fuck up.
It was in the comics.
Shut the fuck up. You're not about to sit here and defend a piano fight. Not letting you do it. No. So yeah, closing arguments. Do anybody else want to go ahead and give y'all closing arguments?
Yeah, one time. I just have one question for you, bro. That's all. Did you not find it weird? I just thought about this, and this can go for everyone too. I just thought about this. Did you not find it weird that the Flash didn't have no like final fight, like a one-on-one?
That was the point.
That was a complaint I had. There was no real villain in the movie.
That was the point of the film. They didn't want to give him a big bad to fight. The whole point was him to learn his lesson.
I thought about that. But see, like I said, most hero movies, like there's always like that one,
because
hero versus villain fight. Or
the guy that gets showed as the last thing is to show that if he doesn't accept loss, that's what.
Well, we can do spoilers. So you talking about Dark Flash?
Yeah. So when Dark Flash appears, that is younger Barry never giving up. Because remember, in his world, like his mom told him every problem has a solution. While and it was the reverse for Barry. The whole point of this film was to say, if you don't accept loss, like when you accept loss, it makes you who you are. Like the person you are in the beginning of the film, like Batman, the death of the parents made him into Batman. Him losing his parents made him who he is, the Flash he is. That villain was to show him what he would become if he doesn't take in the lesson and it just kept going and going.
See, I feel that Yosuke, but I feel like it was kind of...
And it was going against, like these common films. How many films, the first film will be seen, like the Ant-Man and stuff, Iron Man, the first villain is a mirror of themselves if they went evil. This one, they were trying to go against that. Like to show someone like a similar power set and have like the reverse Flash from the get-go.
I feel that.
I feel what you're saying. I just feel like it was kind of pointless to put the Dark Flash there. He barely was in the movie.
I think they could have written it better.
And then they got to him. They killed him off. They killed him off so quick.
They could have written it better. But
that was a complaint that I had. I also didn't like how they utilized Supergirl. I felt like Supergirl was underutilized.
Well, that point about
forward to Brave in the Bold.
I gotta wait and see. Actually, you know what? I am too.
I'm gonna tell you why I'm looking for the Brave and the Bold. Even though there's people that are mixed on this movie or don't think it's good, the main thing that a lot of people are saying that they liked was Michael Keaton Batman. Michael Keaton Batman was directed by Andy Muschietti, the nigga that directed this movie, The Flash. The reason James Gunn said he hired him is because he watched The Flash and he noticed that he liked how Andy directs Batman. He can see the love that he had for Batman, so he felt like he would be a good director for an entire Batman movie. And in my opinion, I agree. Now, granted, we're gonna have to wait and see. The movie not out yet. We might not like the movie, but just going off of how he handled Batman was one of the best things about this Flash movie. So seeing him do an entire Batman movie, I think would be
bringing Michael Keaton.
I would say
it's not gonna. I don't know why. That's what I'm trying to say. Like that's a nostalgia bait thing. Yeah, he saw Michael Keaton and was like, "Oh yeah, I remember this." That's not gonna work for the next movie.
But the thing is, Tarek, like what Wonton's saying, it's not just that they brought Michael Keaton back. It's just that they had Michael Keaton, and how they treated Michael Keaton Batman versus Ben Affleck Batman was done really well, because you see the difference in their styles of being Batman. Like they start off the movie with Affleck Batman, like having highly advanced technology, more actual like training, and being more advanced and being able to tackle his problems. But his problem was just that he didn't account for situations where he would not have enough to be able to save everybody. Michael Keaton's Batman is a little bit more low tech, to the point where he uses a flip phone to try to hack a Russian military operation, and he has to pull out measuring tape to be able to calculate the explosion that they'll need to have the force to get out of that place.
That was dope.
So that was really awesome. And you see that Andy Muschietti understands the assignment for Batman. He understands how Batman as a character works, including his utilities that he has with him. So for the Batman movie, The Brave and Bold, I think it could be good. They just have to get better writers than what they had for this movie. Otherwise, it'll be decent, but not live up to the potential.
I just think a lot of the stuff was callbacks to the '89 movie, because he asked the girl her weight back in '89 movie. Was Valerie Vicky Vale or whatever her name was.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff is them doing stuff they did 30 years ago. And I'm like, okay, great. Next movie, if it's like, there's a reason why they don't make Michael Keaton type of Batman movies no more. They stopped doing shit like that for a reason, because the comic book movies weren't doing that well. This is why the Batman movie that came out last year, Robert Pattinson, did so well, even though it wasn't like Christian Bale. But even think about why Christian Bale's Batman did so well, because it was so grounded. And Michael Keaton's Batman is a little more whimsical and, I guess, fantastical in a certain way. It harkens back to comic books movies 20, 30 years ago. I don't think they need to go back in that direction. I know the Brave and Bold, if you watch the Brave and Bold cartoon show, it was really like super comic booky. I don't think that's going to work with Batman. I think Batman only works going forward. I think Jack said this in the comments. Like, they kind of ruined Batman because Batman has to be like grounded in reality for people to care. And I feel like if it's not like the Batman movie that came out last year, that shit's not going to do well. Even for a Batman movie, I think it's not going to do well.
I don't think it's gonna be like an overly jokey movie. It's just that they were paying respect to what Michael Keaton did back in the day, as well as the fact that
it's campy.
The Batman does have campy moments, but like for the story that they probably want to tell in The Brave and the Bold, which is not just limited to the cartoon, it's an actual branding of comics where they tell serious stories back in the day. So they have the ability to tell those more grounded stories. It's just we see with how Andy Muschietti portrays the Batman in this movie, he knows when you have a certain type of Batman, how to portray them and how to present them in a way that makes sense to how they've been established. So that's why I say like he would be a good pick, and he is a good pick. So right now, we don't know the future. We can't tell. So we have to wait and see if he actually can fulfill that promise of making a grounded Batman movie that tells us a good story and helps develop that Batman and Damian Wayne dynamic. So it's too early to tell either way. You can't say it's going to be trash. You can't say it's going to be amazing. It has potential.
I just don't. I like, even though I think this movie's decent, his justification of what the CG was doing, and like, hope these justifications don't travel to his next movie. That's all I'm going to say. I hope this shit. Yeah, it's like when you have a movie like this, and this is where I like James Gunn. I still trust him, but his praise for the movie not matching what was on screen.
He overhyped this movie for sure.
He overhyped this movie, and usually he's on the nose with stuff. Even talking about his own movies and talking about superhero movies in general, he's usually on the nose. But this Flash movie, I've heard like it was overhyped to the fucking moon. Like Tom Cruise, all the other people. Tom Cruise will talk about other movies in his own usually. And for all these people who usually hate superhero movies to come out and say this movie was good, I'm a little skeptical going forward with how they promoted this shit. Like, because it seems a little bit like, They slid a couple dollars under the table. It was like, hey, prop a movie up a little bit. So,
I mean, you could argue that, but I think that goes back to Wonton's idea of the movies are way differently based on the perspective. Like from the general movie going perspective, you probably have a good time with this movie. I have my critiques with the movie. I still liked watching the movie. It was a good time. I just don't like that they didn't write Barry Allen as he should have been, and they had weird moments that just left gaping plot holes, like when Barry gets initially pushed by that dark Flash. He just sees him, gets pushed, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna go about my time. It's like, what? You didn't react to that dude just pushing you, that mysterious figure? You're not gonna question it? You're just gonna keep going? And then also the fact that in the Flashpoint paradox, the reason Barry loses his powers is because him saving his mom alters history, so in the future he never gets to be the Flash, which makes sense. But in this movie, he loses his powers because he gives that power to he tries to help the other Barry get powers, but in the lightning goes through him. That just was written terribly. I didn't like that at all. So
and him getting struck by lightning and without the chemicals on him.
No, the chemicals are there. They were behind him in the Batcave.
Oh, they got burnt.
Yeah.
Burnt away.
That one that actually mirrored the original storyline better than Barry trying to give other Barry his powers. So, because like it made sense because it took a couple tries, even in Flashpoint Paradox, for him to get it right.
Yeah.
So,
well, everybody, we at the point of the podcast where I would like for y'all to give y'all final closing thoughts, so we can go ahead and wrap it up, man.
Hey,
I give it a wonton out of 10. There you go.
Honestly,
a turkey burger out of 10. That's crazy.
I give it a 5 out of 10 overall.
It's a 7.
Yeah.
It's a 7. It's just
Yeah,
it's
it's
an
a 5.
entertaining film. It's a 7. It's not bad. It's not trash. It's not average.
5 out of 10. Fast X, Transformers, better movie.
Nah, I don't want to say Fast X. That's nasty work.
Fast X was more entertaining, bro. Fast X is a terrible movie, bro. So
yeah, it's a 6 out of 10. The CG completely dropped it to like. There's a limit I can't go above. I was distracted the whole movie. There's no way they're justifying that shit, saying this is the artistic direction. And if it was, all them people who just said that was a good idea, they need to be like removed, like from life. All. I'm sorry.
You know, the artistic
no,
stuff.
we don't.
Tarek,
the movie guys don't condone that.
It's for like the snow, you know, like the chrono, you know, the time force things inside. Outside of that, yeah, the CGI was bad, but they try to go for the Speed Force to make it look different and unique.
There's different ways of going about that. I mean, the Speed Force could have been. That's the thing. This is where I'm like, who is writing these movies in the sense of like the Speed Force shouldn't look like. Well, there's
Tarek,
better ways to.
The person who wrote this movie wrote Bumblebee. You love that movie, by the way.
Yeah,
the movie was decent. And guess what? He did it better. And that doesn't mean
anything.
Now
Bumblebee is decent. You just stood up here saying the movie was great. You said it last.
I mean, you can have some W's and some duds. Yeah, call it duds.
You saying you don't want to? You don't make any sense. Just because someone did something good on the last movie.
Your question. Don't attack me. You said who wrote the movie.
Answer my question. I'm telling you that they didn't do it.
I told you who wrote the movie.
And they wrote it bad this time. Nigga, it has nothing. That movie was 5 years ago. What's your fucking point?
The point is
your air fryer model from 5 years ago.
The point is you have a bias. You're a hater.
Is your turkey burger fucking for 2017 just as good turkey burger now, nigga?
Hey, Tyrek, give me 20 on 10, brother. Give me 20 on 10. Give me 20 on 10. Fuck, nigga. All right, go ahead. Who else? Give your final thoughts. Go ahead.
Josuke? Well, Josuke already gave it. E-Rock, you watch it or no?
Final thoughts. Keep on doing your final thoughts.
All right. Yeah, I would say overall 5 out of 10 for me personally as a Flash fan. But I was gonna also say that as a general moviegoer, I could see a 7 out of 10 rating. Or
I think as a film, a 7. As a Flash, I could understand if you're talking about based on a Flash, a 5. I could get that. All
right, y'all. Well, Alex dipped out. I think his connection was fucking off. But that's it, man. Appreciate y'all coming through. So what's next? Next episode we have Me and Alex are.
Oppenheimer and the
Oh
Barbie
no,
movie?
Oppenheimer comes out in July. We still got some time for that.
July, okay.
Oh, I thought,
So
yeah, that's right.
hold on, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna run it down. So that this weekend, the 23rd, me and Alex are going to be seeing Asteroid City.
Oh,
New
yeah,
movie
I
by
didn't see
Wes
that too.
Anderson.
Wes-
So we'll be talking about that, and then next Friday, the
Indiana
30th,
Jones, baby.
Indiana Jones comes out. Now this
Yes,
is what I
sir.
say about
I'm in
Indiana
that day one,
Jones.
baby.
This
I'm
is
in
what I
that
say
day
about
one.
Indiana Jones. Early reviews seem to be mixed. There's people that saying it's good, people saying it's not that good. I still want to watch it. The only problem, I have not seen all of the movies. I've only seen the first Indiana Jones, so I want to try to watch the other ones this weekend. Probably I'll try to knock that out so I can go see Indiana Jones. I'm sure you can enjoy it without, but they have a lot of flashbacks and shit in this new one. So
Yeah.
and recurring characters. So I want to try to watch the other ones. But other than that, I think that might be it this week. So if we don't have enough movies to talk about next weekend, we'll do some just like topics. I know Alex has a lot of topics that he wants us to bring up, so we'll probably do that for y'all. Probably next week. Probably next weekend, like after Indiana Jones, so we can have people's thoughts on that. So we'll probably see y'all in 2 more weeks, and then July. You already know what's going down in July. We got Oppenheimer. That's toward the end of July, to like the 22nd. But we got Oppenheimer, we got Barbie. I know a few of us wanted to see that.
Mission
Mission
Impossible.
Impossible's coming out. I think that actually comes out before Oppenheimer, like on the.
It does. They come out July 10th.
Yeah, so we'll be talking about that. So yeah, big month in July, and then August. We got TMNT, Gran Turismo.
August is
So
also big
we
too.
heating up, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
We entering that summer of cinema, and we got a lot more content for y'all. So shout out to everybody that pulled up. Yosuke, John, shout out to y'all. Kiso, shout out to you, brother.
Indeed, man. Y'all know, man. Movie
Yeah,
guys.
And I just want to point out to
man.
the chat, man. Look, sometimes we get into heated arguments, but at the end of the day, we all brothers. We all fuck with each other. We all family, and it just is what it is. Sometimes we can get into
How you feel about that,
get into
Tarek?
discussions.
I'm
If
gonna
we
make
didn't get
one,
into these type of discussions, it would be stale. So
Exactly.
it is what it is.
yeah,
man.
shout out to
But-
Jack for
No hard feelings.
for liking
Exactly.
this.
No
yeah.
hard feelings, man. Some passion.
no
Right,
hard
exactly.
forehead.
Man.
Shout out to Tarek.
Exactly. Brothers
You know.
butt heads sometimes, so just gotta let it
Yeah,
rock.
man.
Hey, man. Shout out to the movie guys, his family.
Hey,
Passionate
once
movie
I
boys,
gotta
man.
wear
Appreciate
a
y'all
dress
boys.
to Barbie to watch Barbie.
That nigga Tyrek got a 2-ply turban. But yeah, shout out to the chat. Shout
man.
out to
Shout out
everybody who
to the
pulled
chat.
up. And we
Hit the like
appreciate
button,
y'all, man.
Yes,
please.
sir.
We out.
Appreciate the
Definitely.
chat.
Shout out to my family.
Shout out to
Let me do
Porn.
this in peace. Shout out to Maddie. Appreciate you.
Shout out to Jack for inciting violence all the
And
time.
if you haven't seen The Flash yet, go enjoy that. Cinema.
Shout
Don't-
out to the
don't-
boy
Watch it
Benji
twice.
too for
Watch it
pulling up and
twice.
Jigga.
Watch it twice.
HBO Max.
All right, we out.
Watch it in IMAX.
I shoot at these niggas, no bitchin'. Yeah, they see the cops, they bitchin'.